WRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting you off at 78 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. So I would argue this morning 78 is cooler than yesterday's 78. 78 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio, getting you ready for a Wednesday show. Wednesday show that brings in Franz Borghart, a Wednesday show that goes nuclear in the second hour. Like, literally. Anna Johnson from the Department of Conservation and Energy going to join us, where we are in Louisiana, a finalist for a nuclear campus. So we got a lot of ground to cover. Exxon's coming by in the 8 o'clock hour. Let's get to it. Top stories and trending. The new I Voted sticker was revealed yesterday. This year's sticker by New Orleans artist Terrence Osborne features a trumpet with a magnolia blossoming out of it, and it's all draped in Mardi Gras beads. Mayor President Sid Edwards visited Gardeer yesterday to check on the success of the program Invest in Yourself. It's an 8-week-long program that connects 18 to 24-year-olds to paid work experience and the documentation needed to pursue immediate employment or to enroll in a 2-year college. So they're at the halfway point of the Invest in Yourself project, or program, I should say. At the halfway point, 100% retention. Everyone's still on board. Nearly 2,700 square yards of an East Baton Rouge Parish landfill have been combed over as the third week of the search for 15-year-old Jadarius Manyweather's body continues. As of this week, or as of Monday, I should say, search teams had covered 2,679 square yards, processed 1,054.1 tons of landfill material at the Baton Rouge North landfill. Over the past 3 weeks, daily productivity at the landfill has increased from approximately 90 tons per day to 150 tons per day. Our news partners at WBRZ are reporting that last week a post began floating around social media claiming ethics complaints have been filed against Central's Mayor Wade Evans with the Louisiana Board of Ethics. During a city council meeting last month, Mayor Wade Evans addressed questions raised over his relationship with a city employee. A post circulating on social media claims the complaint has been filed with the board, but the mayor says he has not received anything. In fact, the mayor said the same thing on this show on Monday. Evans believes the complaints are politically motivated. East Baton Rouge Parish School Superintendent Lamont Cole is being investigated by the Louisiana Attorney General's office as part of a wider corruption probe into the city parish government. Multiple reports say that Cole is being investigated by a state grand jury over matters tied to his time as Metro Council member for District 7 from 2016 to 2024. It is worth noting that this is a very broad investigation covering a lot of people. Also of note, Cole has not been arrested, charged, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't even been questioned.
President Trump met with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday, with the White House calling the meetings positive and productive.
Oh, yeah. Zelensky's still out there.
Forgot about him.
Ukraine's still a thing. Forgot about that. That's still floating around. And we did see that 3-night streak of no attacks came to a close with, but I don't think the attacks were in Iran.
It's been quiet.
Well,
it's been
no. There were attacks last night.
Oh, there were attacks last night.
Yeah.
A familiar face is back on Capitol Hill Wednesday morning. Dr. Anthony Fauci is testifying after being subpoenaed by the Senate Homeland Security Committee.
It's been a minute since we had old Fauci on the show.
I forgot about him, too.
I say that like he's a regular. He came on, believe it or not, very, very early on in the pandemic. March of 2020, he was on the show. And I need to go back and look up to find the audio, because he had said a couple different things, it wasn't expected to last all that long. Oh yeah, it would probably be worth playing back the interview in its entirety 6 years later, just to kind of get a perspective of, because that man lost his absolute mind when he got bit by the fame bug and was so overwhelmed with being the authority, being on TV, being in the public eye so much. correct me if I'm wrong, but at one time, did Fauci not say, you can't question science, I am science? Like a bad movie line.
He did.
You asked me if I have a God complex.
Oh. Oh, no, this is so
that
far
was
beyond
kind of
that.
in line with that, though. The Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was beyond even Baldwin, for crying out loud. Well, by a little bit. So
I remember that when he went off the deep end.
Tell you what, we don't have anything slated for the last segment. It's not long enough to run the full interview. But let me see if I can't dig up a couple Q&A from March of 2020 just to have a retrospective.
You think those aged well? You think those Q&A?
No.
Do you give a certain amount of latitude for we were all doing the best we could back then?
So, yeah, for everybody else on the planet, absolutely.
Except for Fauci.
Because, no, that man, he considered himself to be completely infallible. So
Fauci and Pastor Smith.
Right.
No quarter.
Like the guy who decided to put the one-way stickers down on the grocery store aisles because that's going to solve COVID. If you only get canned tuna from the right to the left, that's going to solve COVID. Like that guy, I'll give him a pass. Whoever came up with 6 foot distancing as opposed to 7. You remember the movie Something About Mary? Mm-hmm. When Ben Stiller picks up, was it Harlan Williams was the actor, but playing the hitchhiker, and his idea to beat 8-minute abs is 7-minute abs.
Oh my gosh!
And then Ben Stiller says, "Well, what if someone comes up with 6-minute abs?" Like, no, that was the whole.
That's how you felt about it.
Yeah.
Oh
totally.
gosh!
All right.
According to a Daily Report, restaurant chain Waffle House has filed for new construction. It's a permit to begin work on the company's first Prairieville location. Let's go.
How does Waffle House not already have a Prairieville location?
That's what aren't they on every corner?
Well, yeah, but that stretch of airline, I don't know where it's going in Prairieville, but how between that stretch of airline by Walmart and whatnot, how is that not built that like the? I should probably dig in to find where the Waffle House is going in Prairieville, but it just feels like how was there not already one there?
Kind of like Dollar General. You have one on every corner. You have a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's 6:12 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. ExxonMobil going to be coming by in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about a little bit what they're doing in the community. Also, ExxonMobil, been in our backyard for 115 years. ExxonMobil been hiring our neighbors for 115 years. ExxonMobil been powering the world for 115 years. When you talk about getting oil and gas out of the ground into I was going to say your cars, but literally everywhere, because it's not just about the oil and gas. It's about all the products that go along with that. And with 115 years of experience, 115 years of expertise, 115 years of doing it the right way, how do they carry that into the future on a global scale? That's going to involve carbon capture, and they're ready to answer your questions with a website called aboutlaccs.com. Aboutlaccs.com. What does the future look like? How do we get from point A to point B? Well, it'll be there at aboutlaccs.com. How's your world?
I was telling Breland that I am entering day 8 of a trial, and we are almost done with jury selection.
8 days worth of jury selection?
Yeah, we got to get some alternates, and then we will probably do opening today. So,
are you allowed to say this
yeah,
stuff on
I can
Facebook?
say this generally stuff. So you have 500 people that were subpoenaed to be in the jury veneer in Iberville. Of the 500, we were able to whittle that down on day 1 to 203 for hardships, cause, media. And then we started on Tuesday with just straight jury selection. There are 3 defendants and there's 1 prosecutor. So every panel takes 4 attorneys on an average of an hour to an hour and a half. Yeah. So, doing great. We're supposed to go to Manresa this weekend. That's not happening. Yeah.
podcast because I'm supposed to go to Fouchon this weekend. Yep. Do what?
It's not looking good with the rain.
Is this a fishing trip or a family trip or both?
Well, it was supposed to be a
Father-son
trip. No, but now it's me, Christy, and James. The girls are staying in Baton Rouge. And
Okay.
I'd be lying if I said I was not worried at all about that. Yeah, we're up to a 75% chance of rain on Saturday now. 90% chance on Sunday.
Is this here like all day? Yeah.
Like storm or like just rain? Like, do we have a tropical whatever or?
No, it's just
Okay.
thunderstorm. Oh my word! I'm not firing on all the cylinders this morning, y'all. More often than not, I'll have a drink to help me wind down at the end of the day. There might have been a second one involved last night.
High noon or brown? You strike me as a brown guy. Or from a can or bottle.
Tito's martini.
Interesting.
But not in a martini glass, in a regular glass.
Okay. Just on the rocks?
Really more like 2 Tito's martinis.
Double.
Turned into 4.
We call it a double.
We'll call it 2 doubles.
A quadruple.
Yeah. .616. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane. Rolling right along. We've got the Fox Business Report coming your way in just a little bit. And then on the back end of that break, attorney Franz Borghart in for Legally Served. Yes, we're going to dig into the Nolan Wells case today. I don't know what you're going to get from us that you're not getting from every other news outlet out there, but I do want to talk about a few different things, more along the lines of how attorneys can screw up a case, how attorneys can ruin things when they roll into town. We'll get there. Right now, though, it is sports time, and oh, can you smell the football in the air? I know it's hot outside. I know it's not football weather outside, but we're getting ready to roll, y'all. SEC Media Days are in the rearview mirror. Lane Kiffin is the Rotary guest today. Rotary's off campus. When we're on LSU's campus today, off of our normal site of Drusilla. But we'll be at LSU for Rotary today as Lane Kiffin will address the Rotary Club. All the things coming together that start the beginning of football season, and the Saints have their first practice of camp today. One of the more optimistic preseasons in recent years for the Saints. That has a lot to do with Tyler Shuck, who's going into his second year. He closed out last season, posted up a couple of really good wins, good-looking outings as well. General Manager Mickey Loomis says he confirmed that Shuck's got the intangibles to be a successful quarterback, and he's done what he needed to do in the offseason. Cut 16, please.
And not afraid to ask questions, not afraid to get assistance, and not afraid to dive in with the intention of, hey, I've got to be better, I've got to get better. It's a race for him to improve because we're going to go as far as he can take us.
So to help Shuck make this next the leap into year 2, and avoid a sophomore slump, if you will, the Saints signed running back Travis Etienne and drafted first-round wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Great piece up on Jordan Tyson right now at LouisianaSports.net by Ross Jackson, talking about how Jordan Tyson is cleared. He's good to go for Saints camp. So LouisianaSports.net all football season long. Ross does an incredible job over at LouisianaSports.net. Even better job on TikTok when he's walking back to his car after practice, but that's between you and me. So Kellen Moore says, along with Shuck himself, it's important to see production out of both Shuck, running backs, and wide receivers like Chris Olave.
Chris had a phenomenal season. Tyler finished off strong. That continuity is obviously a huge asset. You look at a lot of these top quarterbacks in this league, they got consistent guys around them a lot of times that they can lean on and anticipate throws to these guys because they've spent so much time with them. And so they're just continuing to build. They're continuing to grow.
I just so fired up. I know I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be. I need to temper expectations. But as a lifelong Whodad, I'm fired up for where this can go. Like I said, LouisianaSports.net is where you're going to get all the coverage. They do a bang-up job from start to finish.
So do you think there was foul play?
No. No, I don't. And what's more than that is as a parent, when you see things like this happen, as a parent, as a white parent, would it make you hesitant to send your kids on a spring break trip, to send Fisher on a spring break trip if he had a black friend? Sure he does. I think
I'm sure he has one black friend. I mean, I don't.
it's Our Lady of Mercy. There's going to be one, right?
I think his name is Token. So,
Well, here's the thing, though, is you see a natural progression of race relations and an organic progression of racial harmony, right? It's never going to be perfect, but it's always going to be better. But when you see people like Ben Crump roll into town, I'm scared to interact with someone if I know that there's going to be negative repercussions based off of absolutely nothing. And there's zero evidence of foul play so far.
I often ask myself in my job and in dealing with human beings, what's the motivation? What's the person's why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they taking the position they're taking? Is it, and in this particular conversation with Mr. Crump, is he trying to make things better, or is this just his shtick?
Right.
This is what he does.
Right.
This is how he pays his mortgage, and this is the role he wants to be. You know, shout out to my boy Gary Chambers. I don't hate on Gary Chambers for being Gary Chambers. He's consistent, right? So the problem is if you profit off of finding issues where there's issues, you can also profit off of finding issues where there's not issues.
Right.
And that was a long way around to that point, but essentially, you know.
But see, it might be different because I know Gary and I know Gary's why. Oh, this is me. Okay. Got to get caught up here. Sorry about that. If you're on Facebook Live, the glorified crew over there in the chat, Facebook Live, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care, you know why I'm late to the party on traffic here. Franz and I were already getting into it before Legally Served even started. So bear with me for just a quick minute. Bad host. Sorry. We're actually, we're not looking too bad on the interstates this morning. Your volume on I-12 is really, really good for this time of morning, with a couple of exceptions. You're going to see a little bit of heavier volume on 12 westbound as you approach Airline, and then again in between Airline and the 10-12 merge. But backing things up to Denham Springs, we look great right there. Now, I-10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish is good as well. However, once you get past the 10-12 merge, once you're taking 10 through the heart of town, on the big board, it's being reported that there's an accident that's been moved off the roadway, 10 westbound at Perkins, but I'm not showing any delays as a result of that. But you know where that's at on the interstate, and that can gum things up pretty quickly if it's not completely removed. 10 eastbound coming back across from West Baton Rouge looks great, as does I-110 in both directions. No surface street accidents to report at this time. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center. .624, Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Industry Makes, industrymakes.org. Industrymakes.org, a website built to be the return serve, if you will, for the industries that are up and down the river. All the plants and all the companies that have built the products that we use from the tires in our car to just about everything you're going to find in a hospital, for crying out loud. Built out because of the industries that we have here in Louisiana. And from time to time, they'll get shot down. They get protests built up and whatnot. And, Mark Twain has the old line, a lie can get halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. Well, industrymakes.org is the truth getting its pants on. Where do you go to find that return serve, to find the information that speaks up on behalf of the industries that employ our neighbors? Industrymakes.org. If you want to learn more, that's the website to go to. Hit up the Ambassador Toolkit. Learn how you can be a voice for your neighbors as well at industrymakes.org. Morning, Franz.
Good morning, folks.
You doing well?
Dude,
Yeah.
I was telling you before I went on, I can't talk about the specifics of the case, but I'm on day 8 of a jury trial in Iberville right now.
Yeah.
And we're just now getting a jury. So, yeah.
Well, so I know you can't talk about specifics, but, who's the defendant and what are the charges? I'm kidding.
So this isn't a good example of, I know people see me do all the media stuff I do.
Yeah.
And I take shots. I get stabbed sometimes. Oh, you ever really practice law? Yeah, I try real cases.
From time to time.
Right, real murder cases. And in fact, I was sitting back thinking, like, how many murder cases have I done in 20 years?
How many?
And I got to tell you, it's less than 20, but close to between 15 and 20. And if you think about that, that doesn't seem like an inherently big number. But most criminal defense attorneys that practice may do 1 or 2 murder cases in their entire career.
Really?
Yeah, but now
And you're pulling one a year? On average?
About one a year. I was
Okay.
now remember though, I was a public defender for a number of years. I was a state prosecutor.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Franz Borghart. But I put my shoes on one shoe at a time. So
Everyone puts their shoes on one shoe at a time.
Pivoting, because I've been under a rock.
Hang on. If you could put your shoes on both at the same time, I want video, please.
I'll send you video of me putting my shoes on. I don't do shoestrings, so it's pretty easy. It's like slippers. So I've been under a rock for the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Nolan Wells.
Oh, yeah.
You texted me yesterday about it. We have a mutual friend. Shout out to Wolf. He texted me about my feelings about it, and I was like,
Wolf is he's bucking for Stu's associate producer status right now.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
So,
the truth of the matter is I've been wanting to talk about this.
Sure.
So,
sure.
Because it's the biggest headline in the nation right now, as far as, well, I shouldn't say the biggest headline in the nation, but you're going to find it in on the homepage of the CNNs and the Fox Newses and all that other good stuff, because it's huge. Group of kids goes out on 4th of July, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, having a few pops along the way. They're on a boat, Horn Island, Mississippi, just off the coast of Biloxi, I guess, and boat goes down. They have to get towed out there. The word is from inside the party that Nolan says, you guys go, I'm going to hang back. And I guess he was talking to a girl, because tell me now, up till now, is anything different than any summer you ever spent as a teenager?
It's 2026.
Right.
No different than
Right.
the 90s. Yeah.
Right. It just did. So far, this is like the exact right story. Like, yes, it always rolls this way. Now, it doesn't always end in death, and it's sad, it's tragic when a young life from such a promising kid is gone. But now this is degenerated into something much, much worse.
So have you ever heard the phrase where there's smoke, there's fire?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an instance where we're looking for smoke that may not exist.
Right. I'm with you there.
We have a high-profile attorney.
Attorney.
Is he an attorney? I think he's.
No, I thought that was spelled. I thought that was pronounced race baiter. You know where I'm going here. So
well, that's okay.
We got 1 minute till break. But
So
I apologize. Go ahead.
Ben Crump has emerged.
Yeah.
and said, hey, I think there's smoke.
Yeah.
And that has started a dialogue where there may not be any foul play whatsoever. Like, when I was approached about this topic, I read the facts and I'm like, I'm not seeing the issue. So, yeah, I don't know if there's smoke or fire.
So that's the part that gets me, is there is no evidence pointing towards there being smoke. There is no evidence.
I mean, he's
of
black.
smoke.
The kid's black, right?
But so what?
But that's it. That's the only fact
And
that
to me, this is going to be to me, this is going to be a part of the overall discussion nationwide, which we'll pick up after we check news, traffic, and weather right here on Talk 107.3.
Hey, next time you do the celebrity waiter thing, invite me. I'll spend some money.
Next year for Celebrity Waiter?
I don't need to be a waiter. If you're doing it,
Yeah.
like, and you're trying to raise money,
Yeah.
I'll buy some. Is it a ticket, but table? Like, what do you? I will attend. I saw the pictures and I was like, this looks like something I would like to attend.
It's great.
Yeah,
It is
I like the cause. I mean,
Children's Advocacy Center.
yeah.
Do I? Yes, please.
Selection last week, I fit a Dumb and Dumber line into the jury selection.
Wow.
And like, remember, it's a generational thing. So
Yeah.
younger generation, like, so you're telling me I got a chance. They may not understand or appreciate. It's like something about Mary reference.
Right.
Some people will get that, you know.
Most people won't.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a pivotal part of there's something about Mary. So. But anyway, yes.
So I was doing a spiel on reasonable doubt, and I said, "Do you buy a lottery ticket?"
I'm buying one today.
Yeah. What's your chances of winning?
A 1 in like 10 million.
Right. Low chances.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Is it reasonable that you're buying a ticket?
No.
And I disagree. It is reasonable, especially if you win. Reasonable doubt is not about quantity. It's about quality.
There is no quality of the reasonable doubt here.
Is it Powerball? Is it Powerball? What's the jackpot?
It's like 650 million or something like that. Chandler Willis says, I just put on both my shoes at the same time to spite you. Take that.
So Chandler Willis's daughter works at Brouhaha.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chandler Willis. Works at Brouhaha. Super sweet. I'm gonna give a coffee shop love. This coffee shop I go to maybe every day, getting coffee. When I bring my son, they are super. You know when people are just nice to kids?
Yeah.
Like not normal customers, but just genuinely not love me Brouhaha. Super sweet, and his daughter is a excellent employee there. So I'm not just saying that. I mean, it's kind of like when I walk in, it's like Norm from Cheers, where they know what I'm going to order.
Yeah.
And they don't say, Franz. They could. They don't.
That would be a little weird if they did.
No, my ego would love it.
Oh. Yeah, brouhaha's not bad. I got to tell you, though, we're just a couple months away from me abandoning every other coffee shop on the planet. So, and I'll be right there on Catholic High's campus, basically. You know that CVS at the corner of Acadian and Government? Yeah, what they're turning that into with a couple of boutique shops, one of those is going to be a PJ's.
Okay.
So
they'll get some of my money.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, between me and having a daughter at SJA, they're going to get a lot of my money. Because, like, I mean, no, like, a lot of people love French truck. I don't care for French truck. Yeah. And I've yet to have a good customer service experience.
I would say that my issue with you beat me to it. I have had bad customer service experiences at French Truck.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing me a favor, serving me and taking my money, and it's not the other way around.
Right. It's a very, like, I would like to order, and I'm sorry to bother you with it.
Like, what do you want?
Right. And then the other one, because I'm just, I'm not deviating from my route up and down Government Street. The other one is the one in Electric Depot. What's the coffee shop in Electric Depot?
Lord, yes.
I love them, but there's no like
City Roots.
City Roots, yeah, but it's not convenient. You got to park and walk and blah blah blah. It's like
I actually like City Roots for that reason.
I like City Roots for a meeting. If I'm going to have a meeting with somebody,
so I like
a little
it
15-minute sit down
because it's a little harder to get into.
Yeah.
I can go there in peace and have a quiet moment.
Right.
Versus if I go to Simple Joe's, and I love Simple Joe's, it's like, who are you going to run into?
Simple Joe's is too popular. Like,
it's not simple.
It's not. It's Crowded Joe's. It's nothing against them. They do a great job. I would recommend putting up some sound deadening boards along the wall. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Or is there? And what if there is no smoke? How do you create some? Well, you get someone like Ben Crump to roll into town and just accuse everybody of racism no matter what.
We would agree if Nolan Wells was white, we probably wouldn't have heard from Ben
Drop
Crump.
the probably.
We would not have heard from Ben Crump.
There is no evidence suggesting that we would ever hear from Ben Crump if Nolan Wells was white. Correct. So
if he was Asian, we probably wouldn't have heard from Ben Crump.
Not. But here's the thing, though, and I ask you this as an attorney, but these aren't your tactics, but as an attorney, how does one just completely make stuff up to inject things into a conversation that don't yet exist?
We're living in a world where, and I'm not hating on President Trump when I say this, the new maneuver is, I'm not saying Brian is wearing a blue shirt, but there's been talk. I mean, I'm not saying anything ran afoul to civil rights or law, but it looks suspicious. So you can say something without directly saying it.
And that's not
that's
new.
a tactical maneuver.
That's been used in politics, small town politics.
So, but I don't think that's Ben Crump's maneuver though. Ben Crump's maneuver is he's black. There must be fire.
Right. Right, and that's the part that bothers me about this, because you're talking about a group of kids that are lifelong friends, and all of a sudden now they can't be. All of a sudden they're served. They get sued on the day of their friend's funeral. Like it's tough enough for the family to have to bury their son, but can't you at least say that like the group of friends that was going to go to the funeral, they're going to be the pallbearers for their friend, like the group of friends that was going to be there for them for each other at a time of grief, now they have to have this enter into their mind of okay, now we're going to be glossed as racist for the rest of our lives.
You got to go over the facts. Just set up the facts for the audience, and we'll let our conscience be our guide.
Mm-hmm.
They go to summer trip to the beach, right?
Right.
Something happens to where the group leaves, but Nolan Wells stays.
Right.
Now, in reading the alleged facts, it looks like he may have been with a young lady. I'm not sure. There may have been drinking. I'm not sure. I assume all of them were drinking.
Yes, thank you.
That is an assumption. Is that a fair assumption, or is that a nefarious assumption?
It's a group of kids on the Gulf Coast who have just graduated high school.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very fair assumption.
Right. It would be like I walk into a casino and I say, I'm shocked to see that there's gambling going on here.
Right.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
He drowns. He goes missing, and then ultimately cause of death it's undetermined, but I think it's drowning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, the cause of death has been posted as undetermined. There has been reports that there's no visible trauma to the body, but there was some, like, redness around the back of the head or whatever. There's definitely nothing that would suggest it was anything other than drowning. I mean, there's no stab wounds, no bullet holes, no choking, choke marks or anything like that. There's nothing that would suggest another form of death other than drowning.
There's no allegation that he was drugged.
Right.
I assume if there were anything illicit in his system besides alcohol, we would have read about it. Mm-hmm. That's my assumption. I don't know that because I haven't read the autopsy. Mm-hmm. To file a civil suit at this point is very premature.
Thank you. Okay. Is it detrimental to society as a whole? Should a lawyer be forced to look through that lens?
Well, so the flip argument, the counter argument, it's going to be what? The family doesn't believe that they can get justice because there's been no criminal proceedings. Mm-hmm. There's been no arrests. Mm-hmm. And the only way the only tribunal in which they can get justice at this point is the civil one. And maybe if they do work in the civil arena, they may overturn a rock because nobody else is overturning rocks. This is the counter argument, by the way, guys. I'm not saying I believe this.
Good clarification.
Right.
Yes.
And if they overturn enough rocks, that may lead to a criminal prosecution. Stranger things have happened.
Right.
However, what a civil suit does allow is discovery. What is discovery? That allows me to do depositions, to ask for paperwork, to scrutinize and to do things that maybe no one else is doing. Mm-hmm. It's premature. Like, let the body, dude, when did he die?
On July 4th, he was found on the 6th.
Right. So my position is, man, it's a little premature. The counter argument, that is, time is of the essence.
Right.
If we're going to collect evidence, if we're going to preserve evidence, and we're the only ones who think that something wrong happened, then we need to get started on that now. I can see the counter argument. However, why do I say it's premature? I have not seen any wrongdoing yet. Doesn't mean there wasn't any wrongdoing. I haven't seen any wrongdoing that would rise to a civil cause of action or that we would call tortious. Mm-hmm. A tort, by the way, is a fancy word for a civil injury. Now, this is Mississippi, right?
Yes.
So I don't know that there's smoke or fire on this one.
So, okay, now
it's going to rile a whole bunch of people up.
Yeah, that to me, that's the bigger point about this, is you have this group of friends who's just organically a group of friends. But now, don't you have to take a look at, a secondary look and say, I have to be more selective about who my kids can hang out with because you never know when something could go wrong.
Are you suggesting that race baiting is going to cause racism? Are you suggesting that?
I'm not suggesting it would cause racism, but I'm suggesting that race baiting could cause folks to be more selective.
Well, if you're not letting your kid hang out with black kids because you're worried that something...
Well, racism involves both hatred and a use of power over somebody.
Right. Okay, fair
This
enough.
would just be segregation.
Right.
This would be segregating. Self-segregating. But as long as that's on the table, would you want to see your kid have to go through this to lose a friend and then and look, every year there's a high school somewhere where something goes wrong. Whether it's in Mississippi, Louisiana, there's always a recent graduate who had a promising future. It happens every year. There's a recent graduate who had a promising future and something went wrong over the summertime. You can't point me to a year where that doesn't happen.
So again, I'm not saying that the autopsy or the the position of the cause of death is undetermined. Bless you. I'm not saying that in and of itself excludes the possibility that there was wrongdoing. What I'm suggesting is if there were physical injuries that would be consistent with someone drowning a human being,
Right.
not a human being drowning, but being drowned.
Right.
The specific intent to kill. That's what we're really talking about. I wanted to kill somebody. I thought about killing them, and so I killed him. Don't you think we would have heard about it already? I mean, by the way, guys, I am trying a high-profile case in Iberville right now. Media hears things and instantly posts things.
Yes.
It goes, Mark Twain goes around the world.
A lie can get halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on.
Right. And we are living in a world where media is more concerned about speed than accuracy.
Yes.
Don't you think we would have read or seen something? I'm not saying that we get evidence from the media. I'm saying, don't you think we would have read and seen something if there were foul play such that...
But then you have, and I'm quoting from a CNN article, it says, Javon Williams, one of Wells's friends who had seen him on the island on July 4th, said the account that the other friends give doesn't square with the person he knew. Quote, I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time. That's just a random quote from a random dude who's friends with Nolan, and, like, it doesn't take into account, yeah, but, like, you know, if you're having a few pops and you're making some progress with a lady, like, it doesn't take anything like that into account. Level of asking man on the street now counts.
Decision that might be a bad decision or might be an inconsistent decision by its definition is something. Somebody makes a bad decision doesn't mean that they normally make bad decisions. It doesn't mean that they normally make good decisions.
No.
One decision can be.
That's where we're going to pick it up after this. He's Attorney Franz Borghart. We do Legally Served this time every week, except for next week because I'm on the road.
Okay. Just remind me, please.
I will.
I like sleep. Wednesday sleep. Like, you know what's really hard about this entire trial thing? Well, no, that's not hard. So I normally go to daily mass in the morning, and I have not gone to morning mass. I went to Sunday, but I haven't gone to morning mass in about a week and a half, and you don't realize how much you like your routine. Yeah. I have come to the point in the road, Brian Haldane, that I need to join a gym. I need to have a place I can go for an hour, hour and a half to physically decompress and exert energy, and it is entirely too hot. Like, I thought, I'll just walk around the block with the dog. Yeah. The dog...
That's not exercise, though.
The dog is... It's something. The dog is a lowrider, mini schnauzer. We get halfway around, and she's just looking at me like, dude, it's too hot for dogs.
Well, but dogs aren't out there to exercise either. They're out there to sniff everything under the sun. So you're not elevating your heart rate at all.
When you post the story today, just let me know, and I will share it. Now, I will say something about the city of Plaquemine. They got some good food out there.
Really?
Yeah, they got some little shops, little po' boy shops. There is a...
Jason says regiment. Jason Cheek, Waterboy says regiment on Bluebonnet.
That's too far away. I need some place that's in my corridor.
A gym that's more than 2 miles from your home is always going to be a failed membership.
So Brouhaha,
statistically.
So next to Brouhaha, they have a little bar thing, like a little gym, like a little one. I want something.
The box.
Yeah, I want to go. I'm at an Anytime Fitness level. To be candid,
you have a Planet Fitness right behind your house.
Where is that?
Airline at Goodwood. Used to be the Circuit City.
Really? That's a Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
That's not far
You
at
have
all.
a Crunch Fitness in the Hammond Air Shopping Center, and you have a Club 4 Fitness.
Which of those would be the one that would most probably suit me? Planet?
It's $10 a month at Planet Fitness.
It's $10 a month.
Yeah, but it's ass.
I'm looking for a treadmill a weights, a treadmill, and elliptical. That's all I need. Like when I say weights, I don't mean like I'm not powerlifting.
Right.
I just
You
want to
mean
do
like
reps.
dumbbells and machines.
Yeah.
You don't need free weights.
Yeah.
There's an Anytime in Town Center. But for Anytime in Town Center, you're going to pay like $45 where you can go to Club 4 and get it for $30. I'm a member at Club 4. Deaton Trahan's a member at Club 4. It's over by High Neighbor on Airline. Literally the only problem with Club 4 Fitness is if you work out during daylight hours, when you walk out at the end of your workout, you smell Ronnie's boudin.
Which kind of counters the.
I gained 2 pounds from smelling Ronnie's boudin. No, but so yeah, Christy works out at Club 4. It's. That was cool yesterday. I was doing bench press yesterday. Got up off the bench, saw my wife walk in. I was like, hey! It's fun.
So do you get a family membership?
No, they're all individual memberships.
Okay.
But so my problem, I used to be a member of Planet Fatness, but
Planet Fatness.
they serve pizza on the first of every month, or bagels if you go early, if you're there in the morning, donuts, whatever. You're like that's like your dentist giving you a free can of Skull.
I'll do F45, but it's not what you're looking for, Ron. It's like it's not treadmills, elliptical.
Well, it's all classes, right?
Yeah, it's classes. And you have cardio days, then you have weightlifting days. Like I'm doing my weightlifting days.
What if I just joined a bar class and I just sat and watched? Would that be creepy? Would that be creepy?
Bar?
I mean, I don't want to. No, I'm good. I'm maybe drinking a tea, maybe having a little popcorn. Is that creepy? That feels creepy. Yeah.
Maybe go to a Pilates class, bro.
I've done hot yoga lattes before. That sucks. I have participated and done it, and I will tell you, hot yoga lattes, there's nothing sexy about anything that's going on in that space.
Except the results. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, diving back into Legally Served in 60 seconds. Let me remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, Neurojust. Neurojust.com is the website. If you or someone you know or love is battling with anxiety or depression and has been treatment resistant, you might want to give Neurojust a look. The team over at Neurojust, I'll celebrate the team as much as I will the TMS therapy, because the team over there at Neurojust has you in mind from start to finish. This is about more than just the mind. It's about the heart as well. They take your personal journey into account. If you've done the sit-down, talk it out therapy and it doesn't take, they take that into account. If you've done the antidepressants and you don't like the results, you hate the side effects, the diminishing returns and whatnot, they take all of that into account. And oh, by the way, they'll go to battle with your insurance company as well. But it's about you and your journey and those 6-foot waves crashing around in your head. How do you calm those seas? TMS therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation. I'll let you visit neurojust.com to get the full explanation on that. But I can tell you it's non-invasive, it's completely pain-free, and it is FDA approved. Learn more at neurojust.com. All right, Franz, we got about 6 minutes left before we're all done here. I want to pivot over to this question. Hey, when a guy like Ben Crump rolls into town, is his hope that the history of the state plays into this here?
I don't think it's just. I think his hope is, one, his history plays in, the first and foremost. I think on
that was part 2 of the question.
So part 2 first. I'm Ben Crump. I come in. I am the smoke that will lead to fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only make money, by the way, if there's fire. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm a criminal defense attorney.
Yes.
If there were no crime on the planet, I would be out of a job.
Correct.
So I think, number one, first and foremost, it's about Ben Crump. Ben Crump loves him some what? Ben Crump.
Ben Crump, yes.
Number two, I don't, again, the elephant in the room is to insinuate because a black young man died while hanging out with a bunch of white young men and women, in and of itself, to insinuate that there had to have been something wrong because of that scenario is racist.
Yes.
But nobody talks about that.
No, nor yeah, they're not going to.
And in fact,
That's why that part angers me.
if I were to turn it on its head, one white kid's hanging out with a bunch of black folk and he ends up dead, and I were to say something must have run afoul there because there's no way X, Y, and Z, that would be racist.
Right.
In the absence of any other supporting evidence.
But so, well, I ask you about the history of the state because, I mean, if we're going to have all the cards on the table, if I'm Ben Crump coming up from the outside in.
Mississippi's not exactly progressive.
I mean, Horn Island is not that far away from Beauvoir. Beauvoir was the home of Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. Like, I mean, now I know you're digging, 160 years in the past, but that is going to play. It's Mississippi, for crying out loud.
I think the narrative will be, for Mr. Crump, the narrative will be whatever it needs to be to create smoke,
Right.
whether there's fire or not.
Now,
And if you're making smoke without fire, that tells you something. Because there can be no smoke. Well, no, you can't have smoke without fire, but my point is, I think the point is well made that we're getting cart in front of the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Prove something happened that was illicit, a crime or otherwise, and then you can go on your witch hunt.
yes.
Without evidence of wrongdoing, your witch hunt is just that: pitchforks and fire.
Now, is it detrimental to his own case to do it this way?
I don't think he holds himself accountable on any level.
Okay.
I think if I were to say, you and I are talking about this, and I said, you know what, Brian, I'm going to represent this family. I think that there was wrongdoing. I'm Franz Borghart. Nobody cares.
Right.
That's not. I don't have that platform. I don't have that soapbox. I think he has grown accustomed. Now he has done some good. I'm not taking away. He has advocated for some good, but again,
Dare I ask you for an example?
No. I'm just going to say I'm not going to sit here and say that every single family, every single client he's ever represented has been like this.
Yeah.
This just seems like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, but I think it's as simple as he sees the state. Hey, I mean, the state of Mississippi. I mean, look, slavery.
They got the money.
Slavery became illegal on December 6th, 1865. Do you know when it was ratified in Mississippi?
Like in the 90s?
March 16th, 1995. Do you know when the paperwork was filed? February 7th, 2013.
Like they just didn't get it off the books?
Slavery was made illegal in 1865.
Well,
they didn't go ahead and put their Herbie Hancock on it for another 100 years, 130 years.
So, food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
If there was wrongdoing with these kids, they may or may not have deep pockets. Civil's all about one thing. Let's not mince words,
Right.
guys. Money. It's about dollar bills. The only way he gets state or government money is if he shows some kind of conspiracy with the state or with a law enforcement agency working in concert to cover up something.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a stretch.
It
feels
does.
like reaching.
Now, if there were any modicum of evidence, if there were a text thread, like a side text thread between the friends that mentioned Nolan at any point along the way, that would be evidence. If there was anything other than a rando saying, that's unlike Nolan, like it's like that scene in, you remember Airplane? Ted never has a second cup of coffee at home. This is the level of evidence that Ben Crump is working with right now.
So that's, look, it certainly, I have no reason in the world to say that I don't know enough about this young man to know what his normal or abnormal behaviors are.
Yeah.
But to say, it goes back to something you alluded to, if he's making nice with a young lady,
Mm-hmm.
which it sounds like he may have been doing,
Mm-hmm.
and he maybe had a few drinks,
At
which
a
it sounds
time,
like,
at a time when the tide's rolling in and a part of the island where the tide gets really nasty and the undercurrent gets pretty bad
Yeah.
too,
yeah,
and the drinks have been flowing.
young people make bad decisions
Mm-hmm.
or make uncharacteristic. No, let's not even say bad. Make uncharacteristic, abnormal decisions.
Do you think this evolves anywhere, or do you think?
I think it will. The juice will get as much squeeze as it can, and then he'll move on to the next case.
He's attorney Franz Borghart. We do legally serve about this time every week. Always appreciate it.
All right. Off the Plaquemine.
Well, you have fun. You know, I love the where the little park is down there by the. That's nice.
I don't have a problem. It's a very lovely little town.
Yes.
It is unpleasant. So if we end at 5 or 5:30, it takes me an hour to go 20, 30 miles. That sucks.
It would be nice if there were a second bridge.
Getting to the old bridge is problematic too. But
Well, I mean, that's right where the new bridge is going.
so I will say that even getting on the ferry doesn't help me, because I have to get on the ferry to drive from what essentially is Nicholson all the way across to Mid-City. There's no, I mean, it's.
No, what I'm saying is if there were another bridge, and all three locations of the new bridge are, all three potential locations are all in Iberville.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would shoot you
Now-
over to Ascension, or
Well, you would take
over to Iberville.
right. You would land in Iberville, but you'd be on Nicholson at that point. But it might actually would even be easier to go into Gonzales and then up on the interstate. Yeah. But the bigger picture here is if there were another bridge, a third of those cars would be gone and using the other bridge.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Yep. Enjoy. Thank you, Franz. Good morning, Christy. What?
Can you ask Anna Johnson about any job opportunities in nuclear, the project manager?
Oh, happy to.
Charles Hall, an angry emoji.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm going to work under the assumption he was agreeing with me and angry at Ben Crump.
Right.
705 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. My apologies, y'all. As I set my headphones down during the break, they turned down my volume when I put them back on. The cord just like wrapped around it. There we go. I'm back now.
Now you can hear yourself.
Yeah. But I started talking, and I'm like, I'm not there.
And I'm like, you're on.
But neither was anything else. So I knew I was be talking over music. I didn't hear either one of them. Anyway, sorry. 705 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along hour 2. Covering your way right now. Brian here with you, Breland producing. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 78 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. We got a busy hour this hour, y'all. The latest BR by the numbers talks about two-year colleges. We're going to talk with Andrew Fitzgerald in our next segment. Also this hour, Anna Johnson is going to join us. Why? Well, I tell you what, that just kind of tees up top stories in trending. Let's roll. DOE, the Department of Energy, the U.S. Department of Energy, announces Utah, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Idaho as potential hosts to modernize the nation's nuclear fuel cycle. The U.S. Department of Energy made the announcement to create a nuclear life cycle innovation campus. It's a new effort to strengthen and modernize the nation's full nuclear fuel cycle. Anna Johnson will be on with us at 7:35 to talk about exactly that. The new I Voted sticker was revealed yesterday. This year's sticker by New Orleans artist Terrence Osborne features a trumpet with a magnolia blossoming out of it. The whole thing is, by the way, draped in Mardi Gras beads. Mayor President Sid Edwards visited Gardeer yesterday to check on the success of the program Invest in Yourself. That's an 8-week-long program that connects 18 to 24-year-olds to paid work experience and the documentation needed to pursue immediate employment or to enroll in a 2-year college. We're at the halfway point of the program right now, and so far, there's 100% retention. Nearly 2,700 square yards of an East Baton Rouge Parish landfill have been combed over as the third week of the search for 15-year-old Jadarius Manyweather's body continues. 2,679 to be certain, and that would be 1,054.1 tons of landfill material at the Baton Rouge North landfill. So over the past 3 weeks, daily productivity at the landfill has actually increased from approximately 90 tons per day up to 150 tons per day. East Baton Rouge Parish School Superintendent Lamont Cole is being investigated by the Louisiana Attorney General's office as part of a wider corruption probe into the city parish government. Multiple reports say that Cole is being investigated by a state grand jury over matters tied to his time as Metro Council member for District 7 from 2016 to 24. Now, it is worth noting a couple things here. First, it's worth noting that this is a very broad investigation. It covers a lot of different people. It's also of note, Cole has not been arrested, has not been charged, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't even been questioned. What you got, Breland?
President Trump met with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on Tuesday, with the White House calling the meetings positive and productive. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, what's next?
Yeah, I know. But, like, okay, Zelensky.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. That war's still going?
Right.
We're still doing that thing? That's what, year 4 now?
I think so.
Yeah.
I had to think about it.
I know.
When the flags, remember when Baton Rouge and everybody was showing support? And
with the Ukrainian flag?
Yes, but the Ukrainian, I feel like that.
Yeah, one of those times where changing your profile picture was considered support.
Yeah, I remember that. Everybody on my feed.
I swear, it's going to turn me into a crotchety old man.
Deep breath. Come on.
Woo-sa. All right.
Well, a familiar face is back on Capitol Hill Wednesday morning. Remember this man? Dr. Anthony Fauci is testifying after being subpoenaed by the Senate Homeland Security Committee.
All right.
Forgot about him, too.
Yeah, at some point, I need to scooch across the hallway, see if I can't dig up my interview with Anthony Fauci from March of 2020. Because, so I posted up, when I heard about the diary, the journal entries or whatever, being read, and he's such a megalomaniac. such a all eyes on me, such a ooh, me. There was one point where I believe, and I hope I'm quoting this right, there was one point where he said, "You can't question science, I am science."
I remember when he said that.
He sounds like a bad guy from a Batman movie. And speaking of Batman, two things can be true at the same time. Dr. Fauci did have a lifetime of service with the National Institute for Health. But you know that line from Batman, you either die a hero or you live to become the villain. Well, he lived to become the villain. And there was a time where at the beginning of COVID, he was helping. And then towards, once a couple months worth of being on Meet the Press and Fox News and CNN every single week, eventually it became more about him than about what he was doing or what the entire world of science was doing. Once it was in the hands of, Pfizer and, who had the other?
Johnson & Johnson?
Johnson & Johnson was third. There was another company that had the vaccine, and I'm not remembering it right now.
Oh, God. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and what was the other one?
That's what I just asked.
I know, but gosh, okay, because I got Pfizer.
Same.
I know, I'm drawing a blank.
But once it became about the vaccine and getting us out of COVID, every single day he was trying to drag us back into, no, you have to be on lockdown, because if you're not on lockdown, you don't need me anymore.
I remember that. And he just kind of went off the deep end. I know, now it's going to bug me, the third vaccine.
You keep going and I'll look it up.
Well, okay, and aren't they questioning him about how COVID-19 came about in the first place? And we all know it came out of a lab in Wuhan, China. We all know that.
Yeah.
And so...
But it came from like a pangolin or something.
I thought it came from a monkey or something. I don't know. It's just, this whole thing. Moderna, that's it.
Moderna, thank you.
Moderna. Renee in the chat says Moderna.
Thank you, Renee. Always appreciate the glorified crew over in the chat. By the way, the chat's open for business every single day, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care.
Yep. All right, third story. According to the Daily Report, restaurant chain Waffle House has filed for a new construction permit to begin work on the company's first Prairieville location.
Fantastic. Cannot believe they didn't have one.
I know. You brought up a good point. I thought they had one already. Because wouldn't every little town have a Waffle House and a Dollar General? I mean,
every little town will have a Dollar General, but not every little town's going to have one. You got to have, like, proximity to the interstate, which they do. Hey, I don't know if that's still technically Prairieville up there by the interstate.
No, I don't think so.
But that stretch of airline highway right there, I would have pegged for having a Waffle House a long time ago. But that's neither here nor there. While we have a quick second before we take our break, and when we come back from break, we're going to talk with Andrew Fitzgerald from the partnership. Landmark Bank, landmarkbankla.com is the website, landmarkbankla.com if you want to check them out. They have been a community bank since 1897 and remain a community bank today. Now, over time, and that's well over 100 years, over time, you're going to find them in more communities, just a handful more. But if you want the full list of locations, visit landmarkbankla.com. When you get those locations, each individual location remains a community bank. So when you sit down with a banker, you sit down with a member of your own community who knows the landscape, who knows what's going on in and around the area, and knows how to help you better get to where you want to be. Whether you're talking about personal banking or business banking, they've got you covered. Learn more at landmarkbankla.com. 7:15, Talk 107.3 FM and WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Oh, I love it when the new BR by the numbers comes out. A great breakdown of things going on in and around our area. This one's, the title is 2 years, 5 years, 6 figures, why RPCC's process technology pathway is one of the best investments Louisiana can make for both the graduate and the state. Joining us now to talk about this with the BR by the numbers, we got Andrew Fitzgerald on the hotline. How are you?
Doing great, Brian. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well on this end as well. So let's talk about the difference between a 2-year school, a 4-year school, or for a lot of folks, 5-year school. What got this ball rolling for this BR by the numbers?
Yeah, so a relatively new data set came out where the Board of Regents here worked with the U.S. Census to track where every completer of every degree program is in the state for every public college and university. So naturally, when that came out, we spent hours kind of pouring over the data for our schools, our 2 land-grant universities in Southern and LSU, then our career and technical colleges also. And having that wage data for, 1, 5, and 10 years after graduation is pretty interesting. And obviously, this number just kind of popped out to us, and we decided we had to let people know what's going on.
Give us the side-by-sides. What do they look like?
Yes, we found out that the process technology program at River Parish's community college, its graduates 5 years after getting their associate's degree are making about $135,000 a year, which is significantly higher than the median graduate of either 4-year university. It's just a complete outlier.
How?
Well, it's just supply and demand. We have one of the highest concentrations of petrochemical companies and facilities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We have 37 times more kind of process technology technicians and operators than the average U.S. city. We have the highest concentration in the country. So your CF Industries, your Exxons, your BASF, they're demanding this. And, there are hundreds of people that have completed the program, but it's just still not enough. So the high demand here is related completely to the high wages.
It's really something incredible. It's very stark when you look at it. If for no other reason, then don't just take the salary into account. Are y'all taking into account the cost of getting that education as well? Or does it get more disparate after that?
I mean, the cost, just in the time in your life, too. I mean, if you go right after high school graduation, you're going to be 20 when you complete rather than 22 or 23, like you mentioned, for a 4-year degree. And also, among bachelor's degrees, really, chemical engineering is the only one with the median that comes close to that. So you'd just be going 2 more years to do something very, very similar. The cost savings and also the availability of state dollars, too, between Top Tech and MJ Foster, that would really cover the full cost, whereas traditional TOPS for LSU only covers most of the cost. So you're also getting it potentially subsidized by the state because it's such a high-demand occupation.
Right. You're talking about covering the full cost for 2 years versus most of the cost for 4 years. I mean, that's just It's insane when you see the side-by-side. And the bigger part of this, by the way, we're talking with Andrew Fitzgerald about the latest BR by the numbers. The bigger part of this is every time there's been a major economic development announcement, we've heard the median salaries coming down from Susan Bourgeois. She'll make the announcement, tell the story up at the podium, and we hear all the numbers, we see all the statistics, but until you put it in these terms, you don't digest it until you see how stark it is to go to an RPCC. By the way, why point out RPCC specifically?
Their data just showed that their graduates had the highest income. It was still high in the 6 figures for BRCC for similar graduates.
Okay.
But it's just River Parishes also is in proximity with Geismar right there to a lot of these plants.
Mm-hmm.
And they have very strong relationships with all those employers down there as well. So it really is, the pipeline is just so strong, and so many of them stay here in Louisiana, 99%.
We got Andrew Fitzgerald on with us. What kind of let's talk about the internals. Like, how do you pour through the data when so much of this is still so fresh?
Well, we basically just set aside about a day or two, and we have a 3-person team, and we sort through it, and then we find something interesting, and then we hand it up to somebody else and say, am I crazy? Or is this actually, nope, we validated that. You're right. And so then we, when it's an issue like this, it's nice. We get to call the stakeholder. We get to call Quentin Taylor, the head of river parishes and say, hey, we're seeing this data. Does this line up with things on your end? I said, well, I haven't seen that exact data, but it does line up in all our graduate states. So it's good to be able to gut check it qualitatively with some boots on the ground with the people that are doing this good work. And then we just talk to senior management here and let it rip.
All right, let me re-ask the question. How deep do these salaries go? How fresh versus how sustainable are these salaries?
They're sustainable. This is it's about 10 years of data that they've looked at. And I'll tell you that these salaries in these skilled craft positions are not going down. Whether it's the construction side, and we have so many backlogged economic development projects, like tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars committed around the state. Richland Parish and Entergy, a lot of people that were doing construction for industrial petrochemical facilities down here are not traveling up to build that because it's just such high demand, years and years of work. So that's outside the fence line, building the facilities. But then there's also just demand for this talent within the facilities, whether it's mechanic work, whether it's operating the chemical machinery. The salaries aren't going down. This is sustained.
What are next steps here? And we've got more to dive into, but I'm kind of all over the map this morning. But what are next steps here to make this more broadly used?
So the number one thing that I'm really excited about is they're building a $30 million training facility on the west side of the river in Donaldsonville in Ascension Parish. And that is going to open up so many opportunities just for the community of Donaldsonville, for the entire west side, for folks in Iberville and Assumption as well. So expanding capacity of how many people can be trained, having more stations where people can learn this skill, that's number one, because you don't want to bottleneck there at the training. And number two is just awareness, and that's not just the general members of the community. That's kids in high school. It's really kids in junior high. Like, this is a stable career path where you're not going to be traveling around the country. You're going to be going to work in your community every day, earning, upper middle class salaries really early on. And so I think it's letting that pipeline of talent that hasn't yet made their career choice know it's an opportunity, while expanding the seats available for them at the community college in the meantime.
We got Andrew Fitzgerald on with us, the latest BR by the numbers showing the return on investment for a two-year school, specifically River Parish's community college. The return on investment for getting that certification in a number of technical trades is through the roof right now. Andrew, do we know about how do I put this the right way, the tried and failed into this? Do we know, are there numbers on who has tried to go the two-year route, but it wasn't for them?
So there are some, but not really as precise as I'd like them yet. But really good news. The state legislature this year, 2 study resolutions passed. One to look at TOPS for 4-year degrees and its outcomes. Who's getting it? Are they graduating? Where are they living after graduation? Are they going into a field related to their degree? How much are they earning? Going to look at all that for the 4 years, but then we also have one to look at the other programs like TOPS Tech and MJ Foster Promise Program, which are more aligned with these 2-year degree skilled craft training. So at the Blanco Center, LA First is going to look at data going from Department of Education, the Board of Regents, to the Louisiana workforce data, and kind of figure that out. Where did you end up if you started one of these programs that didn't necessarily complete? So that's going to be really helpful going into 2027 to have that data.
Obviously, the numbers are super inflated based off of demand from the 2-year school. Is there a way to get the median salary from the 4-year school back in the mix here? Because, while one's abnormally high, I feel like the other one's kind of low.
Yeah, I think one thing you need to do is figure out what careers those are and then backfill and encourage people to go into majors that align with them.
Right.
Because when I went to college, I loved reading, and so I became an English major. And I quickly realized, 3 years in, I realized I need to go to graduate school if I want the career that I want. So I think that I was clearly unprepared in Illinois. My guidance counselor did me no favors in high school, telling me this is what the rest of your life is going to set up like. So I think there really needs to be an effort to get kids in junior high and high school to let them know, and efforts are being made to let them know, if you want this sort of lifestyle, this is the job you need. and here is the educational pathway to get there. And I think we need to maybe intentionally align our curriculum more with those jobs, those high-wage, high-demand jobs that exist, both for 2-year and 4-year degree completers.
A big part, and this could be completely intangible and an unfair question, but a big part of the decision between a 2-year school and a 4-year school is living that college life. A lot of kids grow up wanting that college life. It's part of the, quote unquote American dream. You have that pathway in between high school and adulthood where, yeah, you're living on your own, but no, not all the responsibilities of the world fall on you yet. Is there any way to make the 2-year school appealing on that front?
There are places in the
Can we get
country
RPCC a football team?
I believe these community technical colleges do have sports teams. They have mascots. But I will say one community that's doing this well in the north is Grand Rapids, where they don't have a major university. So they put their community technical college downtown. And so it is in the middle of one of the most brewery-centric communities in the country. And there's all the other amenities that a downtown would have, too. So I would love to see BRCC's facilities going in Donaldsonville be a part of the growth in Donaldsonville as it gets more restaurant and amenities and bars, and hopefully housing aimed at people that age, 18 to 20, 18 to 22. I'd love for BRCC to put a facility in downtown Baton Rouge as part of Plan Baton Rouge 3.
Yep.
There are communities that are doing that because we shouldn't discourage people from the trade by saying you're going to stay in this apartment away from everything on the outskirts of town. You're right that is that pull. And if you can make that quality of life for 2 years closer to the 4-year experience, I think you get even more uptake on these high-demand, high-wage pathways.
Does that feel like the natural next step? I mean, I know I asked the question without any hard numbers behind it, but does that feel like the natural progression?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we've gone from years ago being like a 4-year degree is the only path to a successful career, then to around COVID saying, well, two-year degree is really good also, or even the certificate program is really good also. So we're there mentally, but let's start treating it like we would any other higher ed institution as well.
Right. I mean, yeah, we're there mentally, but are we there spiritually? Like, we've removed the stigma, but have we made it cool?
That's exactly it. Like, you're never going to have the same tailgating for an event like that, but the day-to-day life, the going from your apartment, walking to a grocery store, walking to a bar or restaurant after that, we need that available and encouraged for community college students as well.
Let's talk about translation numbers for like how scalable this is, because moving on into the future, we can max out RPCC, we can max out BRCC, or can we?
I think that there's going to be continued investment. This administration, both the governor and LED, have shown that they're willing to spend dollars on these training programs. That's why I like the River Parishes facility in Donaldsonville so much. Mm-hmm. People think of incentives as a check written to a company or a big tax break. But in here, a lot of it was infrastructure, building a rail station that multiple things will use, and building a school where people are going to learn and get jobs. So I think that the administration's willingness to invest will make sure the pipeline remains robust. What we also need to do is just think about backfilling positions too, because if you're making this much money, after 20, 25 years, you can retire pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
So we constantly are trying to monitor also and make sure we don't get too heavy in that sort of 50 to 60 age of people in these process engineering roles, because then it's, they're going to retire with all their subject matter expertise. So even if we increase capacity, we're going to need to constantly backfill as people retire.
By day, he's the Senior Vice President of Strategy and Research over at the partnership. By night, he's a numbers superhero. We'll call him Graph Man. Andrew Fitzgerald, always appreciate the time, man. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.
You do the same. Always good stuff coming out. Like, I'm a numbers nerd, y'all, and when they can break it down, and Andrew can break it down, when they break it down and show it right in your face, median salary, $134,000. Okay, sign me up. It's going to be great for the overall community as time plays out. Here's news. appreciate that. Kill all the microphones, please. .737, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So the promo video on Twitter said, at 7:35, Anna Johnson goes nuclear. Technically, I'm right. Anna Johnson in studio right now. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Very vague promo, very vague tease right there.
Very
Anna Johnson
accurate.
goes nuclear. coming in from the governor's office of conservation and energy. Energy can mean a number of different things, and in this particular case, it means putting us on a national stage potentially. Is it still potentially?
Potentially, but I mean, we're
Potentially.
there.
We are there, but can we be there? That's what's the next level.
Absolutely.
Walk me through a little bit about where we're at when it comes to walk me through what you've been working on.
Yeah, so yesterday, Department of Energy released a huge announcement saying that Louisiana was one of the 5 states that were selected to potentially develop a nuclear life cycle campus. So what does that mean?
Exactly.
Well, let's start from the beginning. So in May of 2025, President Trump issued an executive order to his Department of Energy saying, hey, let's hit the gas on nuclear. And so that was the bat signal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a long time, this has been so broken and fragmented, and we've done so much research, but we really just haven't hit the gas on it. And so with Trump, as you know, part of his agenda, a large chunk of his agenda is making us energy dominant. And so one of the pieces of that puzzle is obviously nuclear. Why nuclear? It's obviously low carbon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's reliable. It uses uranium. So it gets super hot, super easy. And think of it as a hot rock. And so when this rock gets hot, it boils water, it creates steam, and then this steam turns a turbine that's connected to a generator. So it's just a more reliable source of energy. We've already had a couple of nuclear campuses or a couple of nuclear stations in Louisiana, so we've already kind of been doing this. There are a few states that are playing in this field already. Tennessee's one of the big ones, and they were also one of the 5 states that were selected. And so we're really just trying to, I guess we're putting our skin in the game. We're finally putting our money where our mouth is.
Okay, so 5 sites or 5 states have been selected as the finalists here.
Yes.
My first question is going to be, does only one state get it?
No, I mean, I think there's a potential for all 5 to get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, potentially all states to get it. I mean, really, wouldn't that be the goal?
Well, no, one would hope, but some have to be selected to get the ball rolling earlier so that we have the template built out for. Someone's
Right.
got to be the template builder.
Right.
So, what does it take to get us from 5 to template builder?
Yeah, so there were 28 states that submitted responses to DOE's RFI, and 5 were selected. And I think the 5 that were selected were selected for a few different reasons. One, their existing workforce. 2, I think our petrochem corridor and our industrial base in Louisiana is obviously a huge part of that. I mentioned earlier, we already have a couple nuclear substations in Louisiana that have been operating safely for years.
Oh, yeah. Right up the road.
Yeah. And then, I mean, again, like I said, just cooperation with the governor's office, worked really, really hard with LED. I really want to give them credit and give credit to the governor's office. I mean, this was really a team approach. And so, I mean, look, the fact that we were in the top 5 is awesome. That's something we can brag about. That's another notch on our belt that I'm excited about.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It's. I mean, we've made the playoff, but only one team brings home a trophy at the end of the season, right? Or maybe potentially more. We don't know that yet, but we don't know if we're across the finish line yet. We got Anna Johnson in with us from the Department of Conservation and Energy. Let's retreat from the announcement real quick to talk about what led us to the announcement. Demand for energy is about to go through the roof.
Yes.
Okay. How and why? And like, are we going to be scalable on time? Because I feel like there's such a push right now that like everyone's worried that one day it's just going to be so much demand that we'll fall behind it.
Well, I think that's why you're starting to see this push and a fast push. Obviously, we have to have the conversation about data centers, right?
Of course.
So as you see more of these start to pop up, and really any kind of large industrial footprint that's going to require a lot of energy, eventually you're going to have another source of that so that you don't strain your grid. And so what better way to do that than nuclear? And I think this satisfies like both sides of the equation, right? Like the environmentalists aren't screaming about it. And then, industry's happy too, because this is, like I said, this is a longer, sustainable, more reliable source of energy.
And longer sustainable, is it self-sustainable, though? Is it something that nuclear can be built out to where each place that needs nuclear operates on their own? For example, we're not going to use Meta as an example because we know they're teamed up with energy, but like, let's say the next Meta rolls in. Would it be incumbent upon data center builders to build out nuclear facilities that they run?
Absolutely. That's the point. And even in our RFI that we submitted, we talked about the Meta project a little bit, and the need for nuclear energy or another energy component so that we can keep attracting the Metas to Louisiana, right? So again, like I said, this is just a more reliable, sustainable form of energy that satisfies all populations.
Why has nuclear grown why has nuclear not grown at a greater clip up until now? Because I feel like nobody's really put the emphasis on it.
That is a great question. I don't have a good answer for that. As I was digging through this, and granted, I kind of got thrown into this in February, but it seems that we keep researching it, and then we get scared, and then there's a money component attached to it, and then rinse, repeat. And then you obviously had a period of COVID and the Biden administration who started just putting a pause on everything energy-wise, and so that really kind of set us back.
Well,
and now we're restarting that engine.
Because it's clean, it's not. Even though it's clean, it's not considered green.
Yeah.
Which has its own detriments, by the way. When you call something green, you're gonna have a number of people shy away from it just for political reasons.
Yeah, I think that we like to act like nuclear is the only energy in the world that produces waste, and that's not really true. But wouldn't it be great if anything in the world didn't produce waste? But that's just not the reality that we live in. The shirt that you're wearing right now was probably made in China with formaldehyde. The nonstick pan that you cook your food in probably had some component of PFAS associated with it. So, I mean, chemicals are in everything that we do. Nuclear waste is a solid, it's not a liquid. And so the other cool thing about nuclear is that spent nuclear fuel gets less dangerous over time.
Yes.
So I actually read a stat a few days ago that said in 600 years you can actually hold that rock in your hands and it will do nothing to you.
Just 600 years, huh?
Yeah. So the nuclear disposition really gets better over time, and it serves a purpose, like keeping the lights on and keeping our air clean.
Well, but it's not so much the length of time on the waste as much as it is the amount. As nuclear becomes more efficient, the amount of waste that is generated, as I understand, has been reduced greatly.
Yeah.
So we had James Danley on the show, Deputy U.S. Energy Secretary.
Yeah.
He explained a lot to me. I retained a little bit of it. So look, I'm not smart. So, but like he explained a lot of why we're going to see growth overall nationwide when it comes to nuclear. Yeah. And that was one of the things I took away was we've gone a long, long way when it comes to the output end and the waste end to be able to reduce what is physically there.
Yes, that is true.
Now, scientifically, the half-life part of this thing, it's just that if I was better at that, I'd be making a lot more money.
Well, the goal of nuclear, and even in our RFI, 95% of what we talked about in there is repurposing or reusing it. Mm-hmm. So it's a spent fuel again, and so it serves a purpose.
We got Anna Johnson in with us talking about the opportunities for nuclear innovation in Louisiana. So what is going to be the purpose of these campuses?
Oh, gosh. So in Trump's executive order, he wanted the strategies to include a framework for three things. And the three things were fuel production, recycling, and obviously the disposition part of that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's it. That's the goal. Mm-hmm. It's fuel generation, recycling, and the disposition or reuse of that.
So are we looking at just learning how to make this scalable, or are we looking to learn how to make it more effective?
I think both.
Okay. Now, when Louisiana makes it to this round of 5 here, is this the state as a whole, or does each part of the state have a different role to play within a bigger equation?
So that depends on the region. That's a great question. So in our RFI, we actually had it broken out by 3 different regions and what we would potentially do in each of those regions. So it would depend on things like what kind of workforce we have there, the geology there, land, what the needs are even. I know we had proposed doing an innovation campus in Northwest Louisiana that had some sort of component to safety. So, and you can take away from that what you will. But so again, it just depends on the
Northwest
area.
Louisiana, is there a military tie in there?
Could be.
Okay. Well, because a big announcement was made at Washington Mardi Gras on their individual front that I feel like there's going to be a Venn diagram that really turns into one circle here.
See, you're doing the math. You're putting words in my mouth.
Okay. You did not say anything. I'm just trying to figure things out.
Trying to read between the lines. But again, so it depends on the region, the resources, the needs, the land, and the companies, really.
Timeline this for us. When are we going to know if we're a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Ooh, so I was texting Paige Carter about this last night from LEZ, and she and I were just kind of like soaking it all in yesterday because I don't think people realize like what a huge announcement this is and like what this means for our state potentially in jobs, in tax revenue, and all of the things, and just to be a leader on a national stage for something like this. And I asked her last night, and she was kind of laughing at me, and I was like, wouldn't it be really cool if we could make a big announcement by December? And she just kind of laughed at me. She's like, oh, Anna, it's probably going to be before that.
I would hope so. We don't want to be on the shelf that long because if we're behind the data curve, if we're behind the curve on energy needed for data, if we're already trailing, we got to move quickly. And the problem there is you don't want to move quickly with nuclear. You want it done fast, or do you want it done right?
Right.
And we want it done right.
Yes.
So announce early and get to work at a greater clip.
Yeah, and that was kind of the point of the nuclear summit earlier this year too, was boom, here we are, we're interested, let's put the movers and shakers in the room together. And Governor Landry was very intentional about that. Like, we don't want this to be a networking event, that's great, but we really want this to be a business deal. Like, we want to put people in the room together that can make business happen. And so
Absolutely. She is Anna Johnson with the Department of Conservation and Energy. We always appreciate the time and the great news. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Here's your money now on Talk 107.3 FM. It's 7:50. Facebook Live. That was one of my favorite shows of the last 3 years. Thank you so much for that.
the nuclear summit?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Coming down. Well, because it was
so many random things.
so many awesome things happened between Stevie Toops wanting to stop by,
The governor.
and then the governor peeks his head the door, and I had to give him crap. I'm like, you're the governor. You don't peek your head. You kick the damn door in, sir. Like,
he just took over what's his name's interview.
oh, who were we talking with at that point?
He was the.
It was a national
Chairman
guy.
Dean
That's
from
it.
The NRC. And
Yeah.
He was just, but he like went with the flow. And
It was such a fun. You don't think of like nuclear energy and fun, but that was such a fun show. And I'm still not worthy of the Windsor Court, by the way. That might be the bougiest place I've ever set foot in.
we all thought. So I remember walking into my room and I was like, "This really looks like a suite." And I remember calling the girl who booked it, and I'm like, "Was this a mistake?" Like, I want to make sure. She's like, "No, those are the rooms." Like, we were all like, "Okay." I mean, I could rub elbows with royalty. It is bougie. I'm like,
Brian sent me a picture of his room they got him in, and like that big old, remember? It
The
was
mural, the
yeah,
wall-sized mural. Oh my God.
He's like, look what's behind me.
I'm surprised Jeff didn't even call in today. I told him to, but he said he was going to try, but so he could upstage my interview. But he's pumped about it.
It should
But
be.
yeah, we do have a couple of projects in the pipeline. I know Solstice. I think.
Hang on. Now we need to be off Facebook Live. 7:55. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got a stacked up guest list for the 8 o'clock hour, so let's get to this day in history right now. All right, Breland, how we looking?
All right, let me see if I can pull up my little handy dandy. All right, in 1907, the Boy Scouts were founded,
Really?
but actually overseas in England, which I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I just always
Yeah.
assumed it was an American thing.
I always thought it was too.
Yeah.
In 1921, Adolf Hitler was elected. He became the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, as we know it as the Nazi Party. A significant historic shift that day.
Yeah.
This day, I should say. In 1974, a second article of impeachment against President Richard Nixon was approved, charging him with abuse of power for misusing federal agencies and interfering with lawful investigations during the Watergate scandal. I know. In 1980, AC/DC releases Back in Black. It would go on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time. One of my faves, by the way.
Okay.
And I have to throw this one in because it was just overplayed the year it came out. In 2019, Old Town Road breaks.
Oh, God. So gross.
God, I know. By Lil Nas X, it breaks all-time Billboard record, topping Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men's One Sweet Day for 17 weeks.
Okay.
What else you got, Brian?
Well, I had on this day in 1957, NASA was established.
I had that one too, but we talked about it yesterday, and I forget.
Right, so I'm wondering who one of them got it wrong.
One of them got it wrong. It was either yesterday or today.
Yeah. On this day in 1981, Prince Charles and Lady Diana were married. Princess Diana, I should say. On this day in 1954, J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy epic, The Lord of the Rings, was published.
Fantastic. Okay.
Got some movies and music for you here. On this day in 1983, National Lampoon's Vacation hit the theaters. 94, The Mask hit the theaters. 98, the Lindsay Lohan version of The Parent Trap. On the music front, this day in 1984, Prince became the first person to have a #1 song and a #1 movie at the same time.
Wow.
When Doves Cry from the Purple Rain soundtrack went #1. And this day in 2015, bring this one back home. Well, I say home, North Louisiana. This day in 2015, the Eagles played their last concert in Bossier City.
Okay, that was pretty cool. A lot of movie news today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Martina McBride.
She's 60.
Yeah. Dak Prescott from the Cowboys.
Is 33.
Yeah. That's all I got. Who you got?
1950, LSU's Tommy Casanova was born today. And born on this day in 1973, you mentioned Boyz II Men a moment ago, Wanya Morris.
No kid.
No kid.
All right. Notable deaths. I only got one. Vincent Van Gogh.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Speaking to his good ear.
Yes. National Lasagna Day.
We can roll with that.
I love me a
good
good
lasagna. Born on
lasagna.
this day in 1883 was Benito Mussolini.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed that one, but yeah. National what day?
National Lasagna Day.
No, not here for it.
You don't like lasagna, Brian?
It's got to be good. There's so many store-bought lasagnas that are
I know,
the
like the
exact same
Stouffer
thing.
is just saying.
No, I need a good homemade lasagna that like somebody put a lot of time and effort into.
Cajun Ninja. He
No.
has one where it takes like 8 hours to make. Yeah, but I mean, like he actually does the homemade noodles and all that, and so it's good.
Cajun Ninja.
Cajun Ninja, but it's
Italian Ninja is where I'm going
Italian Ninja. Okay. Cajun Ninja. Hey, I like him. He's from Homa.
But we're
Thibodeau.
talking lasagna here.
I know. I know. Rocco is probably rolling away over there.
Probably. All right, we got to get out of here. News is on its way right now. Yeah, we try to keep the off the air stuff off the air.
Yeah.
Especially when Anna Johnson's breaking ranks on what
Yeah.
economic development deals are about to come to town.
Yeah.
It's like, you signed an NDA, dear.
That's right. Oh, so how's it been going?
You what?
Been going well? Yeah.
Yeah, how's your world?
Good. Doing great, man.
What are you up to these days?
I do. So I work for U.S. Foods now as a consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, restaurant consultant, and I do more nonprofit work. So I'm on the school board in my parish.
Well, I knew that part.
State school board.
I knew that part, but I didn't think that was a full-time gig. So
Yeah. I've been I've been a consultant on my own for a long time. But after I got out of the kitchens and I started with U.S. Foods as a consultant. I did some sales with them, and it's a better schedule for the kids and my wife. And
Oh, I would imagine.
yeah. But yeah, most of my time is nonprofit work though. Like
Okay.
this is my nonprofit. I do. I'm on the statewide arts nonprofit LPA. We do work with the legislature. Started the Arts Caucus with them.
Okay.
This past year, and I got on the state LSBA, the State School Board Association, this year too. They appointed me to that. So
Very
I
cool
love
stuff.
I love doing that stuff. Yeah, so this is our third year of this festival. And we got it's a 14-hour day, nonstop music, like literally nonstop. We have big bands that play for an hour and a half, and then 30 minutes in between is solo artists. So like we close the curtain.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The next person starts playing. We open the curtain. The next group starts playing, and then we have a second stage where all of our kids play. So like our student musicians and artists. We have a stage in the market where they play from 11 to 4. And it's just like kids in the band, kids that have rock bands in their garage, like the little music school. Rock and roll
Very
music
cool.
school in Donaldsonville has students that come and play on the stage. And then, big arts and crafts market, food trucks, blow-ups, all kind of stuff outside. But all the music stages are inside.
Okay.
In the AC. Yeah, big community center.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you good. It's the Sugarland Music and Arts Festival. So it's in Assumption.
Okay,
So, yeah. We started a nonprofit a few years ago, and then this is our big event, big yearly event.
That's great.
Third.
I know I heard like blow ups. I'm like, is that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The music is all day inside. So the music is inside. We have. That's right. Rain or shine. Kids areas outside, and we have food trucks and vendors and all kind of stuff. Huge support from the community. And it's only $10. If you're over 21, it's $10. Everybody else is free.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, $10. You can, and you bring your own chair too.
Bring your own chair.
Yeah,
You got to buy tickets for beer, seltzer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the festival sells all the drinks. The food trucks sell all the food. We got an arts and vendor market. They sell, artists and makers and all that stuff in the market. And, yeah, it's a good deal. We've already outgrown the facility really in the 3 years that we've been there. I didn't have a bad drive this morning actually.
Really?
Yeah, I'm usually not in Baton Rouge this early anymore. My wife is. She drives in at 6, so she usually misses everything to her office, and then she's the assistant director for the Louisiana Book Festival and the state library. So she gets off at 3, so she misses.
She works with Meg?
Yeah, she's Meg's the state one in library development, but
Yeah.
Jamie works for the Center for the Book. It's like the Library of Congress affiliate.
Oh, okay.
So it was Jim and Robbie were the directors for a while. Well, Jim
Okay.
retired, the head guy. So Jamie's the assistant director for that department now.
Okay. Yeah,
under Robbie.
we're friends with Meg and Jason
Yeah.
Blackie.
Oh yeah.
Gus, their
Mhm.
son, is in James's grade.
Oh,
so-
that's right. Yep.
So they're
I forgot
Mercy
they go
family
there,
like
too.
us.
Yep. Yeah, Meg actually is. Meg grew up next to the house that we own now in Napoleonville. Her mom and dad own the house.
Oh, no
next,
kidding.
Next to us, yeah, and we bought the lot from them when they tore the house down. So,
Oh,
yeah, we
nice.
Jamie and Meg have known each other for a long time. Yeah, we like them. Yep. She was in LD with Meg before she moved apartments. Do I need to put the headphones on, or am I good?
No,
just like
you're
this?
good without.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have mine on though,
Okay.
so I can make sure everything's sounding good.
Yep.
.806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Busy third hour coming your way this hour. We got 180 Pros coming up at 8:35. We got ExxonMobil coming up in our next segment. But right now, we'll take you down to Assumption Parish. Want to welcome Josh Hebert back in the studio. How are you, man?
Good, Brian. Man, it's been a while since I've been in here.
Well, there's reason for that.
That's the reason.
Because the last time you were here, you lit the place on fire.
Yeah, last couple times have been a little sketchy. So we made sure insurance approved me coming in the building today. So.
Well, okay, so I kind of lied right there. I didn't tell insurance, so I'm going to try to get forgiveness rather than permission.
That's right, yeah.
So we'll hope that today is uneventful. For those that don't know, hey, Breland, can you come grab this? For those that don't know, Josh was a chef for a long time.
Quite some time.
And was in for a Foodie Friday and was trying to burn off some alcohol that was, because there was a time where, yes, please answer it. Yes, please. There was a time where we cooked during Foodie Friday.
That's right, yeah.
And this was the last time we cooked on Foodie Friday.
That's right.
And burning off some alcohol, and the flame got a little bit higher than Josh would have liked.
Yeah, we were talking, having a good time. I forgot to check the level of the flame under that pan, and then we just kind of had a nice little photo out there.
Yeah, and it was caught perfectly on camera. And Josh paused for it felt like an hour, but it was like maybe 2 seconds. And he goes, "We're okay.
All right, we're fine."
We're okay. And then we moved on from there. It wasn't a big deal, but the still photograph was telling. I'll dig it out of my phone. I'll post it up after this is over
There you
with, just as the reminder. But that was a good time. So these days, though, you're working in a number of different areas.
Yeah.
Not only on the school board down in Assumption, but you do a lot of work outside to put events together like the Sugarland Music and Arts Festival, which is coming back around.
That's right. Yeah, it's our third year, so it's a nonprofit that me and a few friends founded a few years ago, and we saw a need in our parish to fund and celebrate our art students, our musicians, our performing artists, dancers, young artists that are drawing in their bedrooms or jamming in their garages that really don't get the highlight they need. So we saw a need to do that, and then we got into funding as well. So we fund music instruments, supplies, tuition, scholarships. We pay for master classes and these kids to go out and learn in other areas of the state with LSU, with Nichols, with some colleges and honors groups around too. So. Yeah.
So how big can it get? I mean, I'm not trying to Assumption Parish is, close to Baton Rouge, but not close enough to where they would need to come into Baton Rouge for, nurturing those talents.
And that's why we started. We saw, our parish was really not celebrating those students as well as we should. And they needed some help. They needed some sunshine. So we started our organization to make sure that anytime they ask, that if we could fill the need, we could fill it, outside of state funding, federal funding, and things like that. That if they needed new instruments, if they needed supplies, if they needed an avenue to go, to go listen to a symphony or go to a master class, that, they had the funding to do that, especially with, a lot of our population in Assumption being in poverty.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We got Josh Hebert with us talking about Sugarland Music and Arts Festival. So let's give the rundown real quick. It's coming up this weekend or this Saturday.
Yep, this Saturday. It's the first Saturday in August every year. So we have that on the books for many, many years to come. It's 14 hours of near continuous music, 2 stages inside in the air condition. Our main stage lineup, we start out with Joel Jones and a gospel choir. We have Justin Cornett Band, the King of Swamp Pop, Don Rich, Brian Foray, Jamie Bageron, Snapper and the Fish Sticks, closing out with the Chase Tyler Band.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You got Brian Foray in the Foray tradition.
That's right.
Which we love.
That's the tightest, one of the tightest groups on stage.
Jamie Bageron and the Kickin' Cajuns.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I can't say I've seen them before.
Yeah, good group. Really, really tight group. Cajun music, some Zydeco, Swamp Pop, things like that. And then closing out the night with a popular group in Louisiana, Chase Tyler.
Well, everybody loves Chase
Yeah.
Tyler Band,
And then
for sure.
in the middle of those big acts, we have solo artists. It's more of our local up and coming artists where the big act starts, the curtain closes, the solo act starts. So it's near continuous 14 hours of music.
So y'all
on
can
that
flip the
day.
stage from one band to another
That's
without
right.
the music going away.
in less than 30 minutes. Yep.
Gotta love that.
Yep.
So, and this is a cool moment for the solo artists as well.
Yeah, they get stage presence. They get the experience of being in front of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They get to test out their music to see what works, and then we have a second stage in our arts market where all of our students are on that stage.
Okay.
So our garage bands, our band students, our kids that are just jamming out that want to be on a stage, we give them the stage time too to get the stage fright out, the heebie-jeebies out, and make sure they have that time to be showcased as well, because that's
And
what we're all
that
about.
one starts up at 11 with the Rusty String Revival.
Yeah, it's a cool little group, man. We have a Rockin' Mozart music school that's in Donisonville that the kids go to learn how to play guitar and drums and
No
things
kidding.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And those kids come and jam out on our stage, and then we have our high school and middle school students that come and do, play piccolo, play flute, we have a saxophone quartet from the high school group that come and put on a show. And it's really cool because the kids get to be in front of an audience. It's the middle of our market. A lot of cool things going on that day.
Very, very cool stuff. And that one, that stage runs the entire, from what, 11 a.m.
11
until 4 p.m.?
Yeah, the student stage from 11 until 4.
Okay.
And the main stage is from, we have our opening program at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Music starts at 11 all the way till midnight. So,
We got Josh Hebert with us talking about the Sugarland Music and Arts Festival. Let's talk about the art end of this.
yep.
Is like, what are we looking at? Is it just, it's run the gamut of all forms and
Yes.
mediums and everything?
Yes, so our nonprofit supports all forms, and that's what we're all about, is the kids and community. So whatever you choose to do and whatever medium and form you want, you choose to showcase your art and your talent, we're there for you, to support you and make sure that you get what you need. So dancers, spoken word, poets, visual artists, performing artists, musicians, anything that can be considered an art, culinary artists, we support that, and we want to make sure that you're showcased and you have an avenue.
Now, as far as getting into the festival, you told me tickets are $10?
Yeah, if you're 21 and older, tickets are $10 for the whole day. You can come and go. You can come in the morning, get lunch, go take a nap, come back at night. You got your wristband on, you get back in. Everybody 20 and under is free, so for the whole day.
Very, very cool stuff. And then once you're there, you said there's food trucks?
Yep. Oh yeah, we
Go
have
for it.
a full arts and artisans market where we'll have vendors, makers, artists, artisans in our market, and we have food trucks and novelty vendors. So your festival, your lemonade, snowballs, ice cream, coffee truck. We have 6 hot food trucks that'll keep you fed all day and night. So yeah, we have a little bit of everything for the whole family. We have blow ups for the kids, and the whole thing is sponsored in most part by our community businesses and people. So our 2 presenting sponsors are Boudreaux's Electrical Services,
Okay.
and Melissa Stredwick, CPA. Our main stage is Apex Air. Rouse's Markets is one of our sponsors. B-Bar J Country Store is in there as our sponsor. Lynn's Interiors in Thibodaux, and then Hewitt's Flooring and Lighting and Interiors. They also sponsor our Hall of Fame awards, which we induct 1 artist and 1 arts educator every year into our Hall of Fame. Started that last year. Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Love that addition as well.
Yeah.
The forecast for Saturday is not looking the best right now, but you were telling me during the break, all the music's inside.
Yeah. The only thing you have to go get in the rainforest is some food.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, all the music inside in the air condition in the big community center in Assumption Parish, right next to Assumption High. So yeah, both music stages inside. Bring your chair. You can pitch your chair on the floor and sit there all day. Yeah.
It should be a pretty great day from start to finish, especially because everything's, like you said, no matter how, you can't go wrong here. You're out of the rain and you're air conditioned.
That's right, yeah.
Both ways, they've got you covered over here.
Yeah.
And do we have the address? I know you said the Ascension Community Center.
Yeah, the Assumption Parish
Assumption,
Community Center.
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's 4910 Highway 308. So if you search for Assumption Parish Community Center or Assumption High School, they're right next to each other. And we see there. There's Airbnbs in the area. There's the hotels by Sunshine Bridge if you want to spend the night. We have some cottages and things around Pierre Part and around the Lake Verret out there. So if you plan on spending the weekend, look some travel up. Come spend the night with us too.
Absolutely. He is Josh Hebert. It's the Sugarland Music and Arts Festival. If someone's been driving around right now and wants to check it out later, is there a website?
Yeah, sugarlandfest.org.
Sugarlandfest.org. It's all going down on Saturday, y'all. stacked up lineups for music, to be sure. Even if you've never heard Snapper and the Fish Sticks.
Hey man, they're good. They're
So I've heard
the best party band.
So I've
you
heard.
know, we have our VP is with Water's Edge Band, which is the best party band around because he's our VP, Toby. But he's running the stage all day, so they're not playing this year. Snapper's filling in a close second. So to the best party and variety band around.
He is Josh Hebert. Greatly appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian, for having us.
Quick break. We got ExxonMobil in the house next.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. We did, man. I'm glad we got it all in.
You're the best of that.
Thank you very much for the help. Appreciate you, man. If y'all got nothing to do Saturday, come see us.
I'll be in Fouchon.
Oh, nice. That's
LCA,
to be
bring
able
me
to
down
do.
to go fishing.
Nice.
Don't matter. Yeah, turn on because Exxon's coming in. We're talking about the
She is the founder.
818 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We are shifting gears here from festival to the Love Impact Coalition. I want to welcome back to the show from ExxonMobil. We got Rory Denicola in the house. We've also got Donna Collins-Lewis with us. How are y'all this morning?
We're
great.
Morning.
Glad to have you both in today. Okay, so love talking about how ExxonMobil teams up outside of y'all's campus, right? You just
Yep.
you get outside the gates and there's teamwork going on to help build communities. That's what this is all about today. So why don't I start off by just handing it off and saying, like, what brought this all together?
Well, I know I tell the story a lot, but it is the truth. We had a focus group a couple years ago, and in that focus group, we had some ladies that were participating that said, hey, where is ExxonMobil when it comes to health? Where are they in the community? Mm-hmm. And we heard about it from the facilitator, said, let's meet these ladies, and we were sold. What they were doing was exactly what we wanted to sign up for. Volunteered at the first one, and we've been a sponsor ever since.
Okay, so that brings us around to what is the Love Impact Coalition?
So Love Impact Coalition is a nonprofit organization. We actually started doing this work in 2018, working with somebody that I was in a relationship with out of Boise, Idaho. And they were doing clinics in Boise, invited me up to come see a clinic, and came back to Baton Rouge and said, we got to bring this back to Baton Rouge. So we did it 2018, 2019, 2020. COVID shut us down for a couple of years.
Sure.
Then in 23, we came back, and like Rory just said, met this wonderful lady in Exxon. We knew that Exxon was doing a lot of things in the community. We didn't see them do anything health-wise. We invited them to the table, and they have been absolutely wonderful partners ever since.
What are we talking about when we talk about a clinic and talk about health-wise? Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. There's a lot of stuff that you might want to, have more what's specialized going on. But what are we looking at clinic-wise?
So this clinic offers free services, first of all. Anyone who comes on a first-come, first-served basis, free dental, cleanings, extractions, fillings, free prescription eyeglasses, free eye exams, free medical exams. We're going to be doing sports physicals at the clinic. This is actually real work. So just like you would go into a dental office, exams, x-rays, seeing a real dentist, teeth cleaned. Some people come thinking that they may need to have a tooth extracted. The dentist is able to save that tooth. So real service, real tangible services.
Fantastic stuff. That's the dental side. You mentioned the eyes. What about everything else medically, like screenings and everything that often get missed if, just get ignored?
So we do screenings also, medical exams. We have nurse practitioners, doctors. We only use licensed professionals at our clinics.
Sure.
Make sure that everything is up and legitimate. But we've had people that actually was at one of our clinics last year. We tell the story a lot. A lady was sitting there in medical, or her vein was pulsing in her neck. And so one of our nurse practitioners noticed it, and she called another doctor to come in. We immediately called an ambulance that transported this lady to the hospital, and we really, literally, her life was saved through the clinic.
Wow.
Yes.
What was the, do we know what the issue was?
It was
she
some
having
type
a stroke?
of a pulmonary. I'm not medical, so it was something with her heart. What they noticed from the pulsing in her neck. And the lady was actually saved. She was really grateful that she had attended the clinic. She just came to get a checkup because she had not been feeling well.
So how frequent is that? Because, I mean, I know for a lot of us, we're just reminded all the time and still forget about it. But for those who aren't reminded all the time, how frequently do folks just let things fall to the wayside?
They do a lot. We've had people that have come to our clinics that haven't been to dentists in years. But when you think about the reasons why, and Rory knows this well as all of us here, it's an insurance issue. It's an economic issue. People just don't have the money. And if you're not insured or you're underinsured, you just can't afford the services unless you have something like this.
Let's talk numbers a little bit. Number of folks that have been helped out along the way, number of patients that have signed up. What kind of numbers or what kind of volume are we talking about?
Well, at the last clinic in May that we sponsored in Baton Rouge, we averaged, I think it was like 640 patients that we saw. So we are 6 to 6 or until capacity. We have to make that until capacity because we have patients lined up starting usually 4:35 a.m. for services.
Okay.
So I think we did about 700 different teeth dental exams. So some patients getting clean and then extractions. We had about a little under 200 eye exams with prescription glasses filled, and about 100 medical exams just for the May clinic. And then we have one coming up in August, August 15th.
Correct.
So we'll have that, and that'll be at Capitol. We have it at Capitol. Is it the middle school or the high school?
It was the middle school.
Yes,
now
it's
the high school.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. This sort of effort, by the way, we got Rory Denicola from ExxonMobil and Donna Collins-Lewis in with us. This sort of effort is a big team effort. This isn't a small team effort. Talk to me a little bit about the number of people that have to come together to pull this off.
A lot of volunteers. If I remember, I looked at the numbers. We had 250 plus volunteers, and is that even counting the medical staff? No, that is just volunteers. We bring a lot from from ExxonMobil, and I'll tell you, Brian, we have a little specialized service too. We have employee resource groups. We have Women's Interested Network, and we have one that's GOLD, Global Organization for the Advancement of Latinos. And the first one I volunteered at, I noticed a lot of interpreters that we needed for our English second language.
Okay.
And so we had our goal group come and do interpreters, because if you can imagine a 5-year-old child interpreting what the dentist or the doctor is saying to their parents, That's not easy. That's not maybe words they understand or know.
Right.
And so we have our employees come and they do interpreters the whole day. They're interpreting in our patient registration, our patient intakes, for dentists, for the doctors. And it makes that smooth transition, understand what they're going. It makes the patient feel comfortable. They understand what's going to take place, what's happening. And it sold my employees on volunteering at the next one, I got to see people sign up for this one that came in May because they saw how great of a job it was.
Who figured that out? Like, I mean, that's one of those ones where in hindsight is probably pretty obvious, but before somebody actually does it, who's even thinking in that realm?
The first one I volunteered at, I watched it happen so much, and I asked them who is interpreting, and we literally had one girl in patient intake we were constantly saying, hey, can you come interpret? Hey, can you come interpret? And I thought, we've got those people. We can do that.
We're talking about the Love Impact Coalition, going to be coming up on August 15th at Capitol High. Talk to me a little bit about what is possible here. You ran through some numbers of what what y'all have done in the past. Where do you think it maxes out, and where is there room to grow?
Room to grow depends upon the finances, the support for the clinic, of course. It's free to everyone who attends, but it's not free to put a clinic on. We have to pay the vendors for all the dental, medical, vision equipment that comes down. Capacity-wise, I think the most we've ever done was between 600 and 700 patients. Again, we say we're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or until we reach capacity, because just like Rory said, people are in line at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've had people in line. The first clinic in 2018, it was freezing cold, and we had people that had been in line since 3 o'clock that morning. We had a 3-day clinic. We served over 1,400 people in those 3 days. So now we just do the 1-day clinics.
Well, got a little backstory here with Donna Collins-Lewis. Is that at that time you were still on the Metro Council, weren't you?
Council, correct.
How prevalent was the need from a Metro Council standpoint? How prevalent was the need, or how much did you learn since then that the need was either it was greater than you might have first thought?
Well, the first clinic, we were totally amazed at the people that actually showed up. We left there that night at 10, 11 o'clock, and we were thinking, no, nobody's really going to show up. When we got there were hundreds of people in line. And so every year we see this need increase.
Right.
If we look at our economy, everything that's being cut medically, we know that this is going to grow and grow and grow. People want us to start doing 2-day clinic, but again, it all depends upon the capacity and our ability to serve.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We got just a couple minutes left. Rory, I want to pivot back to ExxonMobil's perspective here. This is obviously a great one to tie on to. What goes into the process of, because while ExxonMobil has resources, everyone's resources are limited, doesn't have to be decided. What goes into that process that lets a Love Impact Coalition rise to the top?
Yeah, we do have I don't have a checkbook. I'd love to write a million checks to everyone, but we do have a committee that meets and goes over our organizations that we have applications that we, go through for contributions. When it comes to Love Impact Coalition, they do rise to the top because they're organized. They have a structure. The metrics prove themselves of what we are able to reach. Our employees love volunteering with them. They're able to work, see the need. And then that is our community. Everyone deserves access to health care. It is our community. When you see the stats, the zip codes, it's the community of our fence line. And that's where we're always trying to look to put the dollars into the areas in which we operate. And so that's what it hit us and what we looked. And like I said, the first one that our team worked, we saw it, we worked it. It was an exhausting day, but a good exhaustion, Brian. Something I will always be there. I told them even when I retire one day, I'm still going to be there for their Exxon girl.
We're going to bring on permanent.
No problem on that front, I'm sure. And yeah, it is a different kind of exhausted, isn't it?
It's a good exhaustion.
You sleep better that night for sure. So August 15th is the next one, but we're not done for the year after that, are we?
No, we actually haven't. I had it pulled up. We're going to have a clinic in Donaldsonville. I think is our next clinic. In the Donaldsonville area, we will have one in Gonzales at the Lamar Dixon, and then we will have another one in St. John the Baptist Parish, and it is going to be at New Wine Church. And so some of the clinics, and the great thing about our partnership with Exxon, they believe in the work, and they're already committed to 2027.
Right.
Yep.
And so we're excited about that. We have Representative Ken Brass with the River Parishes who's come on board for this Gonzales clinic. Representative Vanessa Caston LaFleur is one of the sponsors for our August. Yeah, you're a rep. Okay.
Oh, love
She's for this
Shout
one,
out.
for the August one.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to be. She's one of our major sponsors for this August clinic, and so she saw the vision. jumped on board. Senator Regina Barrow in the past has been a great sponsor.
Senator.
Mayor Broom has been a great sponsor. So it's just growing on people. They see the need more and more in the community, and they're just jumping on board.
How much does the partnership like ExxonMobil, how vital is it to make sure you can keep going?
Oh, it's critical. It's critical. I think Exxon, because they jumped on board, other people have seen that, and it's encouraged other people to become a part of the work.
Involvement begets involvement. Success
Exactly.
begets success.
Yes.
Exactly.
Gotta love it. Thank you all so much for coming in today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Thank you
August
for having
15th
us.
at Capitol High. Rory, Denicola, Denicola. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Got ahead of myself. Thank you all so much for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Sorry, I was I got lost in the time there.
Treat us like a partner. Be a partner. Vendor's a vendor. Yeah.
You saw that picture I sent you? I airdropped you a picture.
Oh. Send it one more time. I'm sorry.
I'll text it this time.
That caller, what total traffic keeps talking about, he called in. He goes, hey, Bree, it's bad on I-10.
Okay.
Oh my God. No shit.
That was
He
before.
literally caught the building on fire.
It touched the ceiling. It didn't catch anything on fire, but it touched the ceiling.
Oh my God. This was this room right here? Yeah.
Before Jay Ducote worked here, because that's Jay Ducote's,
So
what
am I
used to be the
looking
liquor
at
cabinet.
here? Like the door?
There's a door behind that curtain. There used to not be a curtain there. There was the bookshelf and the curtain weren't there.
No shit.
No shit.
Oh my God.
So are you saying the shelf is the equivalent of the newspaper on the spilled milk on Big Daddy, where you're just covering the mess and?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's not very camera friendly to have the door right there.
Yeah.
And we've kind of retrofitted this into being a video friendly studio, and it's still not video friendly by any stretch.
Never known unless you said something. So.
Yeah. There's a window behind here. And that used to be the running joke was like when we'd check the weather, I would go to the I'd go to the Doppler window.
That's awesome.
I forget, it was a few weeks ago, Brian was talking about the haze outside, and he goes, there is a haze. He goes, we can't see the haze. And he goes, hold on. And he turns around.
So yeah, this was a Foodie Friday. That was the guy who was in here promoting the Music and Arts Festival. That was him back in the day when he was a chef over at, I think it was at Route 61?
66 maybe? Maybe it was 61.
Route 61 on Bluebonnet.
Yeah. So now you have a fire extinguisher in here or something?
No, we just start cooking. It's always fun when the CEO walks in and says, I was watching you on Facebook Live.
Oh, Flynn walked in? Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we'll stop. 8:36, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got Jacob in with us from 180 Pros. Hang tight for 60 seconds. Got to remind the folks about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is the website, FlyBTR.com. Daily flight to our nation's capital. Leaves out 7 o'clock every morning. And here's the catch. Comes home same, I shouldn't say catch, here's the clincher. Comes home same day. You don't even need to book a hotel room. You can get your business done in Washington, D.C., and sleep in your own bed. Don't have to if you don't want to. You can book it out for the next day for the return flight if you want. But if you want to be back home in your own bed, you could do so via flybtr.com. Also, not too soon to get your plans started for LSU football season. In fact, it's just about here, right around the corner with LSU football. So if you're traveling with the Tigers this year, flybtr.com. Oh, Jacob, how are you?
I'm great, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well as well. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to 180 Pros, because there's a lot to talk about in just your world in general.
Yes, indeed.
So I want to start with where I am probably the least knowledgeable. 180 Pros, as your IT partner, not your IT provider, one of the things that y'all are always on the lookout for is how to protect your clients when it comes to cybersecurity.
Yes.
Now, let's start with this, because I've actually gotten this question before. What exactly is cybersecurity? I mean, there's a lot of small businesses out there that, like, nobody's worried about me. Nobody's hacking into me. Like, what is cybersecurity?
Yeah, no, it's a great call out. So, we're guilty of this too. People in our industry have a tendency to just say, "Hey, we do cybersecurity services." Well, what does that mean? And when I say that, it's what does the outcome mean, right? So it means less phishing emails. It means backing up your data. It means encrypting things that need to be encrypted. Mm-hmm. It means protecting your network on not only the edge, which would be like your router, firewall infrastructure, but also on the computer level, right? Because security is a layered approach. And so just having one of these solutions or one of these tools, you're not really doing much of anything if you just have one of the many, right? So it's a layered approach. And so we try to drive all of these tools and categories of tools to business outcomes.
Okay. Oh, to business outcomes. What does that mean?
Well, let's talk about cost of downtime, right? So what does it cost you as a business owner or leader to be down? And so, when we have a lot of conversations revolving around not only just what does it take to protect us, but what does it take to get us back up and running in the event we do have an incident, because there's no foolproof method. All you can do is mitigate. So a lot of times we talk to business leaders and they think that they're good just because they have a backup, which is totally fine. But we also find that a lot of people do not have the how long does it take you to get back up conversation with them. right? So it's like, yeah, you have a backup, but if it takes you 4 days to restore your data, maybe we need to have a conversation about an alternate solution.
So would that solution be on the, like, you're looking to speed up the return process or looking to minimize the shutdown? Because this is where I'm going with this, is when it comes to cybersecurity, how much is proactive versus reactive?
Yeah, well, it's mostly proactive, right? Usually the reactive side is when something does slip through, right? Which does happen occasionally. And so we internally at 180, we call it talking about the divorce before the divorce, right? If everybody knows what the plan is, it's setting expectations, right? And so if we know that this is the process in the event something happens, it turns the disaster into a coordinated response. So,
which gets things rolling faster.
Of course, right. And so, for example, you know, we had something earlier this year happen where there was a hardware failure. We had a backup, so we went to go restore it. And with the amount of data, we saw, oh, wow, this is going to take like 2 days to restore, right? Well, this business went, well, okay, cool, but we think we're going to lose a ton of money being down. So we were able to put some things together and get them back on a spare tire situation. But then it turned the conversation into, okay, well, if it costs you X amount to be down, then solutions that maybe cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month to get you back up the same day start to make a lot more sense.
Where does so budgetarily there are layers to be sure, but manpower wise, I mean, how big does that have to? How invested is that?
Well, you know, in our business, everything we try to build everything around scale, right? And so we have tons of companies and, you know, tons of people we do work with, but we're using the same tool set across all of our customer base, right? And so if we're logging into, for example, our disaster response or endpoint detection response platform, we have a single pane of glass that shows us what's going on with all of our customers. We don't have to log into 100 and something different accounts and check things.
Okay, all right. Well, it's a
little
streamlines it very very well. We got Jacob Sanders in from 180 Pros. Got a lot to cover this morning. I want to ask you more about AI than because I mean there's clarity on the cybersecurity side for sure, and it's the downtime is the killer there. But on the AI front, how much of your world right now is about education?
Yes. So look, there's a lot of noise around AI, and what I mean by that is if you've tried to open an app, download a program, go to a website, every business ever now has an AI feature, right? And, you know, people in our space, we can kind of sniff out what's fluff and what has substance pretty quick. But if you're just a business owner trying to navigate what solution's best for you, you're looking at a program saying, oh, this has an AI component, but what does that really mean? And also, what are you trying to do? Just because there's AI doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fix all your problems snapping your fingers, you know?
Well, yeah, because AI has different uses for different people.
Correct.
On different levels. So how much of this educational process is about, like, okay, what's tangible to actually implement right now versus, because there's a lot of, like, getting a first down versus a touchdown, right? It's there's a lot of first downs on the AI world where, okay, I've done this particular, I use Claude for this particular thing, and then more and more of your business or more and more of your day can be freed up for other business. So how much of the educational process is about compartmentalization and learning at a real rate?
Yeah. So, you know, we always start the conversation the same way we always do is why? What are you trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish using AI or insert tool here? So that conversation, the structure of the conversation hasn't changed. Just now we have way more options to get the client to the result, right? On our side, we also do several workshops, lunch and learns. You know, we call it creating curiosity. We try to generate as much curiosity around what AI is capable of, because right now a lot of people still view it as the boogeyman. Right? Yeah. And so we're trying to tell people, hey, this is not it'll be the big bad wolf if you want it to be, but it can also be the best intern you've ever had. Right. And I tell people that I'm like, when you're talking to an AI model, you have to talk to it like it's a fresh out of school intern that knows nothing, but it has the strongest work ethic you've ever heard. You have to tell it everything, but it won't forget.
The front end of AI can be quite the slog.
Yes.
Do you find that deters people because the build, like you said, you got to talk to it and to where it explains everything on the front end, and your output is only going to be as good as your input.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to my noise comment. It's just a lot of noise, and knowing where your time and energy is best spent looking for the right AI solution. We put a lot of emphasis on governance in the clients we work with, and that's kind of the hot AI word in our space right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really all it means is what's your internal AI policy, right? Your employees are absolutely using AI, but if they're not using one that you're putting forward and putting boundaries around, they may be putting sensitive company information out there in the ether.
How unintentionally? How often does that intentionally happen?
I mean, I think it happens all day, every day.
How many other problems open up as a result of that?
Well, it's also that's when you start getting very industry specific, right? Like if you're in the healthcare space, now you're talking about a ton of HIPAA concerns.
Yeah,
right.
I would imagine so.
It really depends on who's using it and what kind of information you're feeding it. But then there's solutions out there like Microsoft Copilot where the data stays in your organization, so you can ask it anything, and there's no concern there.
Let's get back to the output is only as good as the input.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is it to teach that message?
I wouldn't say it's difficult to discuss, but getting it to where it needs to be before you can start generating the outcomes is the biggest hurdle, right? I think people understand bad data in, bad data out, but it's really step two. Once we discuss the why, then we talk about what data we're pulling from. And then you kind of learn that sometimes maybe they don't necessarily have an AI or lack of AI problem, but they have a data science problem. They don't understand. There's not an understanding of the data that we're trying to capture. And so you can't go down the road implementing this crazy AI solution and have bad data feeding it.
Okay, now let me bring it around to this, and I hope we're not losing folks because it's a little heavy, but it's also very useful. For a small business owner, how much of that input is internal?
Most of it.
Because a lot of AI is based off of what the artificial intelligence, the A in the AI is what everybody else already has put into the world. So how much is internal and how much of the AI is actually A? That's just, if it's based off of your own numbers, I don't know that, how much, you get what I'm saying, but I'm not saying it right.
I do. Yeah. So
if it's based off of your own numbers, you're not going to, hallucinate.
Sure.
AI is not going to hallucinate.
Well, sometimes AI will just make stuff up to give you an answer.
Fantastic.
Right?
But that's when it's pulling from the whole world.
That's correct. That's correct. And so that's whenever platforms like a Microsoft Copilot really come in handy, because then it's going to pull data from your email account, your Teams chats, your OneDrive, and your SharePoint, all internal company information, right? So it's a little more targeted, a little more focused versus just saying, don't treat it like Google. That's probably where people derail the most.
Boom. That's such a good answer. We've got about 2 minutes left with Jacob Sanders from 180 Pros. On that front, though, when it comes to having an IT partner versus an IT provider, how hands-on is the process right there? Because I know there's probably a lot of small business owners out there who just say no to AI because it's so daunting.
Yeah, as far as the partner provider
is
deal,
it like a boot camp?
Well,
is it an ongoing thing?
Yeah, we do.
Can I text you in the middle of dinner?
You can.
I'll leave that last one out of there.
You can. Only at 180 Pros you can do that.
Right.
But look, we spend a lot of time with client education, right? And so we do lunch and learns. That gets the ball rolling and at least puts everybody in a position to where they're at least looking in the right direction. I would say that nothing brings me more joy than when I have conversations and phone calls with clients where I can see the light bulb click. They go, oh wow, I just figured out how this is going to apply to my business, right? And I've just been so blown away by the workflow efficiencies that I've seen come out of these tools we've been able to help clients with, and it's only going to get better.
Well, and then because business gets better,
right?
And once you get a taste for it, once you realize what the possibilities are, that's where it grows from there. That's where the onus is back on y'all again as the partner to keep them moving forward to what's next.
Well, and it's honestly, I think it's the next opportunity for us to add the most value, because if I can allow your business to continue growing and scaling without adding overhead,
right,
that everybody wins.
Absolutely. Dude, we're already out of time.
I know.
We'll get you back in very soon.
Sounds good.
Like I said, there's always way too much to talk about, because when we talk about having a partnership, it is a different ballgame.
Well, I will do one more call out. So I know Donnie Miller was on your show earlier this week about the Extension Chamber Expo.
Yeah.
We will be doing a breakout of that expo. So if you want to do a deeper dive.
Tell you what, let's put you on the guest list that day. I know who to talk to.
So well, Warren can be here. I'll be out of town, but
Okay,
we'll be there.
we'll get you all on to pick up the discussion then. Jacob, always appreciate the time. And by the way, you got a little shout out the other day from Jay Darden.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, he was. He's a proud customer.
Yeah,
loves
Jay's a
all
great
the
guy.
pieces.
Yes.
All right, it's 8:50. Here's Your Money Now on Talk 107.3 FM. Yeah, Jay was in here talking about. He was doing some presentation at the old governor's mansion.
Yeah.
And I was doing my live read right before it, and he's like, "Yeah, before we even get started, I got to tell you how much I love 180 Pros." It was
That's
really cool. It was a really cool little
he
show.
has probably been a customer for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. With Hen, he's been working with Hen since probably 05, 06, something like that.
But like,
That's awesome.
you would think with his background and his resume, that shit's just handed off.
Yeah.
He sounded a lot more hands-on.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you still on Facebook?
That's cool.
I'm always letting them know now.
No, I've asked her to always let me know. So
yeah, that's hilarious. No, Jay's a great guy.
Got too many.
I'm gonna have to tell him thank you.
business is good.
Yeah, man, this is great. I got 21 people on payroll now. Wow. Yeah, I just signed a lease to expand, double our office size downstairs. So,
wait, double your office?
Like, I'm basically adding the same amount of space I have upstairs now, downstairs. Like, I'll have upstairs and downstairs in my building I'm in.
I need to come by. Y'all are right there by 12 off Sherwood,
Yeah,
right?
right there behind the, well, it's the noodle place now, but it's the old Partners Barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right behind that.
Go behind there. Okay.
Are y'all in LRN's building?
No.
We're in Couvert, Guarantee Life.
Do what?
Yeah, Guarantee Life, Couvert.
No, wait. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're same building.
Okay.
They own the building actually. We pay them rent. They're a customer too. We do all their marketing.
Yeah, LRN is off of Coursey by Home Depot.
Okay, totally different.
Yeah.
Dude, this was fun. Thank you.
No, thank you. And yeah, let's talk video next time.
Okay.
And we can get not the Ascension time, but next time you're in.
I'm coming back in town that day. I might try to squeeze in a little sooner, but
well, I'm doing morning show and then a mid because it's over by 3.
Yeah.
And I got to do hosting some. I'm the MC for something Gabri is putting on that night.
Okay.
So I'll be bouncing out a little early. But yeah, I think I'm doing 2 shows. I think I'm doing a lunchtime show too.
Dang.
So.
And you get it if we record a new spot. Right
We don't do it right now, but
are you running?
I don't even have a
No, absolutely we can. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what that needs to say.
I think it'll be quick. Kind of like we did with Jacob.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. Happy to.
Jordan.
You want to brainstorm real quick while you're
Yeah. Is that cool with you, Brian?
Yes. Let me hop in here real quick.
Okay. I made a pot of coffee on the first floor. For whatever reason, it tastes burnt. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the morgue and get coffee.
I'll tell you why. It's because his pots are super dirty.
So I might need to clean. I can take that sponge and give it a good scrubbing.
All right.
Let's start with the basics. What makes COVID-19 so dangerous? Fatalities obviously are going to be our primary concern. But they got hit really hard. First, I want to ask you about the peaking. You are obviously looking at this from an entire national perspective. We have to look at it from a Louisiana perspective. How dialed in are you on what's going on specifically here in Louisiana? Hey, what do you watch, Fox News or CNN or MSNBC?
Oh crap!
The changes over time that you can see.
I forgot Continental co-host at the time.
Right now, even with daily press briefings, is the right message getting out to the American people? You know, I think so. Even though you might think so. This degree of transparency in anything is just wide open. I would assume that
told him cut 7 and cut 8.
Start playing it from the beginning.
Yeah. $8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hey, just a quick reminder, next Wednesday, next Thursday, the show will be on the road, broadcasting live from the city of Monroe. We're going to have a lot to talk about within the city of Monroe, the surrounding area, Richland Parish and Meta, to be sure. And, of course, I'll be broadcasting live from the Louisiana Municipal Association's annual conference. So Monroe's bringing me into town to talk about all the cities. Very much looking forward to that, courtesy of the city of Monroe. Before we get out of here, so Anthony Fauci's been in the news because people are reading his diary. First of all, don't keep a diary. That's just a bad idea to write anything down because you never know how it's going to look when time passes. And it was a reminder to me that back early on in the pandemic, I actually had Dr. Fauci on the show. And 6 years later, I wonder how much of what he said in March of 2020 actually holds up now that COVID is basically a distant memory. Got two different clips. Hopefully we can get to both of them. Let's start off with, wanted to ask about messaging very early on. Dr. Anthony Fauci is our guest. Dr. Fauci, you talk about the changes over time that you've seen. One of the biggest changes is the ability to communicate right now, even with daily press briefings. Is the right message getting out to the American people?
You know, I think so. I mean, we have a task force meeting every afternoon at 3 o'clock. Immediately after the task force meeting, we go into the Oval Office. We sit down with the president. We brief him. We debrief him. We talk about it. We make policy. And then we go out together with the press. The president gets up. He gives his talk. He answers questions. Then he hands it over to the vice president, who gives a couple of comments, then hands it over to us. And we answer every single question that the press asked. I've never seen this degree of transparency in anything. I mean, it's just wide open.
Unbelievable stuff. Now, I followed up with a question about, is there too much transparency? But later on in the interview, well, actually right before I got him out, I had to ask him, like, timeline-wise. This was March of 2020, and we were still that whole 2 weeks to flatten the curve mentality. We've heard a lot about, and you mentioned this being making a second cycle later on. We've heard a lot about rising temperatures and getting into summertime helping abate this whole pandemic. I mean, it won't make it go away, but it could make it dormant for a little while. Is there anything to that, summertime knocking this thing out or down?
There's precedent for that. I mean, influenza viruses, which are fundamentally winter viruses, and some of the coronaviruses that actually are benign, not the bad ones that we're having now, they traditionally diminish dramatically during the warm season because viruses don't like warm, moist weather. They tend to do very well in cold, dry weather. So I would not be surprised. There's no guarantee because it's a unique virus that it may just do its own thing without.
I mean, how about that for a retrospective? We're done. We'll see you tomorrow. Why don't we just repost the whole thing? No. Oh, yeah, Facebook, we got to bounce. We'll see y'all tomorrow.